in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man in this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. So they go guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The travel listen, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican world radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning, one and all. Welcome to Mornings with Mike Winters. I am he. That would be me, Mike Winters. Happy Friday. It's Friday. Finally.
Yes.
It's been a long week.
It was a long week, but it was a fast week. It went by really quickly. Like, there was a lot in it. There was a lot to it, but it went by really quickly.
Yeah. I don't know. It seems like last weekend was a million years ago to me for some reason. I don't know why.
There's just, I think
it's being sick and everything else over the week. It's just kind of been just a long week in terms of.
It's like I said. There's a lot that happened. I mean, this time last week, former U.S. president hadn't been indicted. I mean, it's a lot has gone down.
Oh, my wife was mad.
Just the course of a week.
She missed 30 minutes of Judge Judy because they broke in to talk about Trump being indicted yesterday.
That's fine.
And she literally said during the conversation, they cut into my Judge Judy. And she goes, that took forever because they literally took a half hour to talk about this thing. And it was an entire episode of Judge Judy, and Kim was salty.
Doggone it. Can't really go back and watch that either.
No, because you've only seen the same 17,000 episodes 20 times in a row. But anyway.
It's the blanket of it all.
Right.
Mm-hmm. They took away her security blanket for that day.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I get it. But happy Friday.
Yes.
Welcome to it. Hopefully all of you are having a wonderful day so far.
Well, it's getting better.
Yeah, it's McDonald's Friday.
I'm sitting here staring down a sausage and cheese biscuit. It's soft. The biscuit's actually perfect right now.
Obviously, you lean biscuit over.
I lean biscuit if it's okay. So the biscuit can be real hit or miss because if it's a little older, the bottom gets a little hard and it's just unpalatable. But when it's like this, that perfect like softness, this is the best bread, in my opinion. I know you go the nooks and crannies.
Sure, but I mean, this is the beauty of variety.
I like and there's something that's kind of simple in the simplicity that kind of like reminds me of my childhood, the sandy biscuit, because like my grandma used to make biscuits and gravy all the time.
Sure,
and it was that kind of like very grainy sandy biscuit. That's my comfort zone.
Gotcha. Yeah, I mean, my wife is the same way. She generally leans heavy on biscuit too, and I'm just I think it's just because I grew up East Coast, and it's just what it is. It's what you're
right.
Don't get me wrong, I'll tear up a biscuit too.
Heck yeah.
But I always like the more firmer types of breads with the soft inside.
I keep seeing more places bringing back the bagel. I feel like it's going to be a thing very soon.
I'm a fan. You know me.
I don't know if this is how it works, but
I love bagels.
In my opinion, or in my mind, this is how they like when they sit down to order the stuff for our McDonald's. There's like it's like when you used to get the catalog and have like the thing and you check off like how many units you needed of like hamburger patties, whatever.
Yeah.
Somewhere down at the bottom, there's like ancillary stuff, and it's like, hey, here's the bagels. If you ever want to bring back the bagels, they're here. You could bring back the bagels.
If McDonald's would bring, I know some places have the bagel sandwiches. If they brought them here, I'd be a very happy camper.
I would too.
I would be a muy happy camper. But till that day comes, at least I got my Coke Zero now.
That's right.
That took years to make happen. Finally, McDonald's said, you know what? I think America's going to embrace this Coke Zero thing. We better put that on there. And it worked. And there we sit.
It's funny. Sprite was trending last week because of how people were baffled at how the McDonald's or the Sprite from McDonald's fountain is the best Sprite you can get. Like better than the bottle, better than
Really?
Yeah, it's
Drink
because
Sprite very often.
they overcarbonate their sodas through the McDonald's thing so that the
Compensate for the
carbonation
icing.
stays it stays sharp longer. It doesn't go flat.
You know what that is? Smart.
That's right. Ingenuity.
Smart.
William Harris, dum dum dum. One of my favorite episodes of all time. South Park, by the way.
Yes, that was a South Park. A big thank you to McDonald's and visit. Make yourself happy. Treat yourself to a nice hot McDonald's breakfast this morning. Don't forget to utilize that app. Start earning rewards and points for free food. You could literally 1 or 2 visits. Next thing you know, you got a free sandwich coming your way. So definitely.
They accrue very fast.
Absolutely. Utilize it. And it's convenient. Use the app. You can have the McDelivery. Matter of fact, if you've never used McDelivery, I think the first time they use it, you get a discount.
Yeah. I don't know if they're still doing it, but for a while they were doing a free Big Mac.
I know last week I was looking and they were knocking like $3 off your order or something when I've never done McDelivery. I've always picked it up. One day I'm going to.
Feels to me that feels like hedonistic.
Like you're cheating. Yeah, I get what you're saying.
Like I feel like if I'm gonna get McDonald's, I need to at least get in my car and go get it.
I gotta go earn it.
It feels it's too convenient.
I understand what you're saying, but guilt-free pleasure. They let you do it.
That's true.
They got delivery, McDelivery. They can do curbside. They can do
won't
drive-through.
even judge you for it.
That's right.
You know what you're doing? You're stimulating the economy because you are helping out the delivery driver economy, the gig economy.
Yeah,
you're keeping them supported. So
there you go.
Yep.
There you go. So
folks, tip your delivery drivers. That's what we're really trying to say here.
Yeah, especially when you live in a hard-to-reach place like me.
Yeah. Down a dirt path. They have to walk over like a bunch of goat heads.
Every time I get delivery, I would say out of 5 deliveries, 3.5 of them get messed up because people get turned around.
It's when you pull into Mike's neighborhood, it's kind of like pulling into the Shire. You're like, I'm in a whole new world. The roads only go in one way, and to get to your place, you have to know the right path. If you choose wrong, you're done. You're toast. That's right. If you choose wrong, you're going to start seeing signs in Spanish.
The road to nowhere leads to me.
I don't know because I've never gone the wrong way. But does your path doesn't circle around, right?
No,
if you don't go
end.
this way, you're done.
Yeah, you hit a fork in the road. You take the one less traveled by, and that will get you stuck too.
If you do take the wrong path, you look for a man holding a lantern, standing there, usually in a rainstorm. Although it's only raining right where he's standing. He can take you to the winter zone.
Right. I call him Gordon.
Is that Gordon?
It is. Can't you tell by his yellow rain slicker?
So yes, visit your local McDonald's. 3 locations here in Roswell, 1 in Artesia, 1 in Carlsbad.
Yeah,
Download
absolutely. Absolutely. Big thank you to McDonald's. Swing by and deliver. You know, I think Freddie's here. Awesome. Real quick, I heard on the news yesterday that Baskin Robbins is offering a new flavor for right now, a peanut butter and jelly flavored ice cream.
Ooh.
And it's grape jelly, peanut butter. It's like a peanut butter ice cream with grape jelly swirls.
Okay.
Yeah, something like that. I'd try it.
That sounds delightful.
But I got to be honest. I don't think it's going to hit the peanut butter and jelly sensation to me.
No?
Because to me, the joy of a peanut butter and jelly sandwich is the contrasts and textures.
The bite. So
it's the bite, the soft bread with the cold jelly and the room temperature peanut butter with smooth. I like and that creamy and coldness, and then the softness of white bread. That's what to me is my favorite child memory of eating peanut butter and jelly. You cannot replicate that.
I agree.
Cream.
So there's two ways you can go about fixing that.
Yeah.
You can make an Uncrustables tie-in where basically you just put pieces of Uncrustables, which is that peanut butter jelly sandwich,
like old
into like frozen Uncrustables into like peanut butter ice cream. That's one way. The other way to make it like actually would work that way, I think, would be I would think to put it in like ice cream sandwich form and make it like vanilla wafers, and that would at least fix a sort of bit
that
of a bread
I'd be
bite.
down with,
right?
But I don't know. I mean, I can't judge. Have not had, but just from the outside looking in, I gotta feel like yeah, you may taste like peanut butter and jelly flavoring, but it's not going to replicate remind me of eating a PB&J sandwich.
Yeah, I'm genuinely curious. I'd try it out for sure.
But so Freddie's here, patiently waiting, and he's got to get out of here to sell cars. So let's get our hour rolling. It is 7:15. Let's get you up to date on the weather.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Pretty windy today, gusts of 35 to 40 miles an hour as cold front moves across our area. We should have sunshine, though, and our high in the mid-70s. Upper 30s overnight, still windy and clear skies, and then lots of sun coming up for Saturday. Still breezy, but not as windy. Our high should be in the mid-70s. Clear for Saturday night, we're back to the mid-80s and sunny on Sunday. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
Thank you, Steve. Currently 47 degrees here in Roswell. Humidity is at 41%. Winds currently out of the north at 8 miles per hour. We do have a wind advisory and a red flag warning for today. The wind advisory will kick in at 8 o'clock this morning, remaining in effect through 7 p.m. Red flag warning also kicking in at 8 a.m., remaining in effect through 6 p.m. this evening. Another sunny and windy day. A little cooler than yesterday, though. We were allegedly hitting the 80s, but I mean, it was warm, but it didn't feel so warm for the parts I heard. But anyway, 72 and sunny today. Breezy, winds out of the northwest, 20 to 25, gusting as high as 35 miles per hour later today. For tonight, mostly clear skies. Overnight low of 36 degrees. West winds 15 to 20, dropping down to 5 to 10 after midnight. For the weekend on Saturday, we're looking at mostly sunny skies and a high of 77 tomorrow. Northwest winds 5 to 10 early, 15 to 20 for the afternoon. Saturday night, mostly clear. Overnight low of 41. South winds 15 to 20. For Sunday, sunny skies and 86. Northwest winds 10 to 15 miles per hour. And then when you head back to work and school on Monday, expect sunny skies and breezy with a high of 86. All right, it is 17 minutes after 7 o'clock. We're going to take about a 2.5 minute commercial break, and then Freddie Sosa with Richland will join us on the other side. Don't go away. You're listening to Mornings with Mike Winters.
You're invited to the Arts and Crafts Fair, happening April 1st and 2nd at the Roswell Convention and Civic Center, presented by Jane and Paul Navarez. Find a wide variety of handmade arts and crafts. Over 40 artist booths will be on hand, and many food trucks will be there to satisfy any food cravings. The partner charity for this year's craft fair is the Pecos Valley Public Service Search and Rescue Team. Entry is just $2. Children 12 and under are free. The Arts and Crafts Fair, April 1st and 2nd, 10 to 5 Saturday, 10 to 4 Sunday at the Roswell Convention and Civic Center.
If you're tired of sleep problems like insomnia, snoring, or restless leg syndrome, the Sleep Center at Artesia General Hospital is committed to helping you reclaim a good night's rest. Our Artesia location offers convenience, comfort, and a team of staff with more than 25 years of experience in diagnosing and treating adults and teens. It's time to put your sleep disorders to bed. Request an appointment online at artesiageneral.com/sleep.
As proud sponsors of the 2023 Golden Gloves event, let Candlewood Suites of Roswell knock you out with spacious rooms, quiet location, and great pricing. Recover in comfort at our Candlewood Suites, 4 Military Heights Drive, Roswell, 575-623-4300, 575-623-4300.
Get more bang for your buck this tax refund season with LGS Guns and Ammo. Southeastern New Mexico's authority for guns and ammo is fully stocked once again, and that means no waiting to get what you need. Guns, ammo, gear, targets, optics and knives, safes, and so much more. From brands you know and love like Ruger, Rossi, Mossberg, Smith & Wesson, and more. Stretch your tax dollar and get more bang for your buck with the help of LGS Guns and Ammo. Southeastern New Mexico's authority for guns and ammunition across from Target in Roswell and at lgsguns.com.
Have you ever felt like your life was just a pile of rubble? Maybe you're there now. There are many stories throughout the Bible of God coming to people in the midst of the rubble of their lives and rescuing them out of it. God rescued his chosen people, the Israelites, out of the rubble of their own rebellion, both literally and figuratively, over and over again when they called to him. Jesus often comes into contact with people at their worst and shows them love and grace. He even tells the parable of the prodigal son who leaves his family, taking his inheritance with him, basically turning his back on his father. The son throws his money away partying, but he knows in his heart that his father will take him back. As he attempts to beg for forgiveness and asks to be a slave, his father runs to him, accepts him with open arms, and has a celebration for his return. God offers each and every one of us the same thing. He offers us freedom from the slavery of our sin and from the rubble of our life. No matter what mess you find yourself in, God can rescue you.
Join us at the Country Club Road Church of Christ for worship at 10 a.m. on Sunday, located on the corner of Country Club and Washington in Roswell.
Your fingernails grow faster on your dominant hand. Not sure which is your dominant hand? Just wait. You'll nail it. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 20 minutes after 7 o'clock, and joining us in studio this morning from Richland Auto Group, Freddie Sosa back with us. Morning, Freddie.
Good morning, good morning, good morning.
How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. How about yourself?
Doing good, doing good. How's life been at Richland? And it's been a while since I've had a chance to talk to you.
I know it's been a little bit, and things have been great at the dealership. Yeah, the start of 2023 has been really, really good for us.
Inventory starting to be...
Inventory's looking a lot better.
Not quite pre-COVID levels, but definitely better than they were a year ago.
Yeah. Nothing for us to complain about. We got plenty of inventory. We got some... I just got in 2 full-size SUVs, so I got our 2023 RST Tahoe in yesterday, and a 23 Suburban High Country.
Nice. So vehicles that people around here are looking for. You know?
Exactly.
Trucks, big SUVs, things that they can move the family around or go work in the ranch and the farms and get around and navigate southeast New Mexico's roads.
We got some 2500s in, so the stuff that was super hard, and don't get me wrong, it's still hard for us to get.
Sure.
But we have a little bit of a mix of stuff for people to come look at, when before there was nothing really for you to look
and
at.
it was like one come in and you had like 12 people dibs.
And we still have lots of that going on.
Okay.
But we have a few things that just are making it through where we can sell them on the lot. Yeah.
Good. So the inventory's getting better. So if you're now, I would probably say, because I know when you and I were talking probably about a year ago or so, and we were kind of steering people to, hey, if you've never ordered a car before, this is kind of a good time to maybe do. Is that still a thing where people are customizing and kind of pre-ordering from you guys?
A ton of that's happening. Good. And the benefit of what we talked about last time I was here is a lot of those orders are coming in now.
Gotcha.
Coming in and have been coming in. We had we did 3 Corvettes this month that all came in. So, and
is it just me? I've noticed a few more vets driving around town lately.
Yeah.
A couple you see like there's that green and
that green
lady,
yellow one. Yeah.
Lady that I think she's a hairstylist.
Yeah,
she's parked usually out there, and I see that vet all around town. But I've seen a few more like those, different colors of all the colors of the rainbow.
Yeah, we got orange and 2 white ones in that were pre-sold that came in this month, and
nice.
People came in from far and wide to pick them up, and super happy with them. We got a used one in on trade.
Ooh, that won't last long.
No, it won't.
No, matter of fact, is there anybody working there going,
Exactly. Yeah. It's a real nice blue one, black wheels, 2022.
Okay, so it's practically
Corvette.
brand new, probably low mileage.
Yeah, 2LT. I think it has 5,000, 9,000 miles, something like that.
I'm guessing usually when you buy vets used, they don't, because people don't road, like people take vets and I don't know if they go cross country in vets.
Well, and for the most part, if you own a vet, it's not your everyday driver.
Exactly. It's usually
it's your
Sunday driver.
Yeah,
that's what I mean. So you probably buy a vet, and it's usually always low mileage because, like you said, people that have a vet, generally they can have more than one car, and that's not going to be their daily to and from work car.
100%.
Unless they're just
most of those ones that we get are when they come in used, they're super low miles. People who own vets usually take very, very meticulous care of them.
It's practically brand new. The only difference is it's got a couple thousand miles on it, and it's probably been maintained to the end. It's a trophy car. It's a car that people, proud to own, and they're going to baby it, and so they baby them until they're not ready to part with them. So. That's definitely, something I saw on the news. Actually, I heard it on the news yesterday, and I was just and I was like, oh, Freddie will be in tomorrow. That'll be something I can ask him. I heard that supply and demand for used cars is starting to get where the used car market's starting to creep back up again. Is that something you guys are seeing where where there's less demand for some of the used cars, sort of we're starting to see the prices for those creep back up again, or is that something you guys have experienced?
Well, we're starting to see the a little bit of the trade values going down from what they were about a year ago, which has helped bring some of the used car pricing down.
Okay, and then the story I heard said they were doing that, but now they're starting to go the other way because the demand's starting to get a little bit and the supply is not as good.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not seeing a whole lot of that yet.
Okay.
I mean,
and that may be something the bigger cities are seeing, and it might matriculate down to us at some point.
Well, and that's the big thing. The what they're doing in some of these bigger cities is still marking up their cars 10, 15 grand over sticker price, and that's something that we don't do at Richland. But
because that's in essence price gouging. That's
I mean, and it's
to me that's a highfalutin no version of doing like the gas thing when you got the only thing in gas in town and you're going to charge everybody twice what or 4 times what the going rate for it is.
And we live in small town Roswell, so I mean, the people we sell vehicles to, we see at the grocery store, we see at church. We interact with these people on a regular basis. So
sure,
we just made a stance at the very beginning. A sticker. I mean, give good pricing, especially to our local family, and get people in, give them a reason to still do business with us.
Absolutely, this too shall pass.
Yeah,
and so and. Since day one, you've walked in here, whether you're wearing the Desert Sun banner or the Richland banner, you've walked in here and say, we're not building you to buy one car. We want you to come back and buy cars from us the rest of your life.
Yeah.
Whenever your life is in need of a new vehicle because the other one's old, or hey, my needs change and everything else, first thing I want you to do is say, let's go down to Richland and see what they've got. And you do that by taking care of people when they go down there. You don't screw them on their deals. You give them a fair value. If they got trade-ins, you give them good values for your trade-ins. You provide excellent service in the service department when it's time to get the oil changed and the tires rotated. And all
we have our
stuff.
brand champion program. That's just a loyalty program for buying cars from us. You get 50% off oil changes, 50% off accessories, towing within 45 miles, free rental car when your vehicle's in service.
Yeah, that's a lot of
and that's no additional cost to the customer. And then just recently we rolled out a new product that's free to the consumer when they purchase a vehicle to us, the lifetime powertrain warranty. So now we're giving lifetime powertrain coverage for the life of you owning the car, new or used vehicles.
Nice.
Used vehicles up to 10 years old, up to, I believe, 120 or 150,000 miles.
And let's be honest, if you're going to need powertrain work, that's when you need it in the high mileage. Training and all that stuff, it works great for the first, couple 100,000. Then after a while, it's like, all right, we need to do some maintenance or replacement on this thing.
And when you think of the most expensive things you're going to pay on your car, it is your engine and transmission.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
Everything's going to be less than a grand or two that you're going to fix.
And that's going to be the hardest working stuff in your car.
Exactly.
I mean, let's face it, everything else is kind of sitting there as decoration or serves a different function.
We can do without
stuff,
we can do without an AC for a couple days. We can't necessarily do without our transmission going. So
powertrain stuff is kind of vital to make that vehicle go. So
so that's the next big thing that we got rolling out.
That's
and
great. Yeah, that's a huge get, because in essence, if you're one of those folks because I know not all of us are like this. Some people are like, no. I get a new car every 4 or 5 years, no matter what. And, I like the new car.
Yeah.
But some of us aren't like that. Some of us are like, no, I want to get my car, and I'm going to drive this for the next 15 to 20 years until I beat it into the ground. And you might get another 15 to 20 years out of this thing with this powertrain, lifetime powertrain. You take care of it. Especially some of these, you get some of these high dollar pickups, you're spending money on these they're going to last years. You take care of them. And especially with the powertrain warranties and all this. I know we live in a world where cars are built and you're like, disposable this. But now you especially when you get your trucks and SUVs, these are vehicles that you'd maintain them and take care of them. You could go your whole life and pass them down to your kids if you take care of them. That's
and it's just like, vehicle insurance or health insurance. You don't necessarily think you need it or anything until you need it.
Exactly. And it's never convenient when you need it.
Exactly. And so this is a peace of mind thing for our customers that we're offering. Again, there's no additional charge to the customer. It's just something we're giving to our customer just because they're buying vehicles from us. And so it's one of the things we pride ourselves on is one, we give you a reason to come in the door and talk with us, and then 2, we give you plenty of reasons to come back.
Sure.
And so this is just one of those reasons to come back every single time.
I will tell you this, my own personal experience. Like every time, I go to Richland. Generally, I'm at the Dodge dealership because I have a Jeep. But every time I go there, it's just kind of like it's not going to get a service appointment. It's just like walking in. It's like, hey, what's up, members? Hey, buddy, just kidding, hang back. Hey, you want some chicken?
Yeah.
All right. And, hey, I need an oil change, by the way. All right, sit down, we'll get her done. And then, it's kind of how it is, and that's and they do that with everybody. It's not just me, the radio guy, walking in and do that. I've seen other customers just roll up, sit down, and next thing you know, it's just that kind of a family style environment where they and then every time when it's coming to the work, when I talk to the mechanic or talk to the parts guy, it's always they explain it to me because I'm not a mechanic. I'm a rube when it comes to this kind of stuff, and so they explain it to me in ways like, okay, well, here's the one option. Here's the advantages and disadvantages. Here's this option. Here's the advantage and then they give me straight scoop so I can make a decision. They're not trying to upsell me on something or trying to, hey, you need a new flux capacitor here. You know what I mean? Where they see this guy coming to doesn't know and we can make up stuff. But none of that happens, and it's just it's a good experience. So this is for me personally, and that's why I can say it, because this is what happened to me. So I can tell you guys, when you go down there, this is the kind of service you can expect.
And it's different, and the God's honest truth is the stuff that we the brand champion program and the lifetime powertrain program. This is just reasons for us to see you on a regular basis. And so one of the things when you go into your oil change at, let's say, a Walmart or Jiffy Lube, or they're not looking for other stuff that may be wrong with your car or what stuff you're going to need to do within the next 3,000 miles. And that's what we're telling you when we get to see it on a regular basis.
Sure.
And that's why we offer a discounted oil change for brand champion people. That's why we're offering the lifetime powertrain, is if we get to see it on a regular basis, we're making sure that vehicle is being upkept at the best possible condition for by the time we take it in on trade, we know everything about that car. And that's just not stuff that you get when you go and get an oil change somewhere else. They're trying to upsell you on filters, but they're not telling you if you need to do this in the next 3,000 miles, you need to do this in the next 7,000 miles.
Right. They're kind of saying hey, your next visit, you're good now, but next visit we probably need to change this filter out.
Yeah, and so we're telling you everything that you're going to need to know. We see it on a regular basis, and like you said, by the time after your second or third time come in and see us, you're going to be family.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, we forget we're at work sometimes. We'll have customers come in, sit in our office, and they're like, "Oh man, I got to get to work. It's been an hour."
Yeah, that's exactly true, but that's the environment that's there at Richland. So, if you're looking for just a great car buying experience, a great car service experience, I can speak from my own personal experience. I've never had a bad one with Richland. Everything I've done, and I've bought a couple of vehicles, I think, at this point, and it's even, and I know we live in a weird world, and there might be something right now you really want, and it's just not available. I don't know. How's the Jeep inventory side? Are Jeeps coming in and all that?
The Chrysler Dodge stores, their inventory is looking really good too.
Good.
They got lots of Jeeps.
I drove by there the other day, and it was looking pretty full. The lot there, when I go to Artesia on Tuesdays, I always drive by that there at the Y, and I always look. I'm like,
no, they've done a real good job with keeping their inventory looking fresh and getting the right type of stuff that people are looking for. Got some Jeeps and some Gladiators in stock. I believe they have a couple Challengers and 300s now. So good. A bunch of inventory that you really want to look at, and really, and what you're seeing people go to right now with everything the way it is, fuel the way it is, interest rates are higher than what they've been in a long time. You're seeing what people are looking at now to be a little bit different. So that mid-size SUV section right now is one of our busiest movers.
That's what people are looking for.
Yeah, in the Dodge inventory and in our inventory. So this month we've seen a big influx of Buick Encores, GMC Trains, and Chevy Equinoxes come on the lot and be gone real fast, because that's the stuff that
those mid-size SUVs.
people are looking for right now.
Yeah, kind of. I guess you would have said like 10 years ago just SUV because there wasn't really crossover then, and so so it's because it's not crossover. Kind of took over the mini SUV genre, I guess you could say.
Well, and you think about it, how many cars do you see in the market anymore?
They are less and less.
Yeah, each brand, not only GM and Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, but across the board, they're starting to eliminate that car inventory and going to that small and mid-size SUV because now they can get the same fuel economy out of SUV when before you had cars because they were going to get you the best fuel economy.
Sure.
But you have SUVs now that give you 30 miles per gallon.
Absolutely. Yeah, they can match it with the car, and they're like, well, now because people are like, well, if I get the fuel efficiency of a smaller car, but in a car that I got a little bit more elbow room in and leg room in, then I'm going to take that.
Yeah,
and that's what you're kind of seeing right now. So, but come down and here's the thing too. Like we were talking earlier, if what you're wanting is not on the lot currently, let's talk about ordering. Let's talk about, I was joking the last time we talked about this. Feel like the baller, because it's a baller move to walk in and say, I want to order a car, and you start going through the catalog, and I want those leather seats, I want these wheels, I want, that's a baller move, but why not? This is if pick what you want. It's right here. It's good, and now you get exactly what you want, and they'll put it and customize it. Next thing you know, we're like, all right, and then we'll call you when it's ready, and you come in, months later, and there's your vehicle, and
that's a good feeling for the customer.
Yeah.
Like they ordered it, and 2-3 months later it shows up, and then you're getting a phone call from myself or your salesman saying, guess what we just got?
Yeah, it's like Christmas.
Did my Yukon show up? Yes, I'm working on getting it cleaned. We'll have it ready in about 2 hours. What time do you want to come in and look at it? And the excitement you see people coming in on something that they built themselves, they did the research on, they sat in front of the computer, went back and forth on colors. I mean, it's crazy how much the car buying experience has gotten more personal through hard times.
Yeah, but I think it's a good thing.
It's a very good thing.
Yeah, I mean, this way you get to do so. So if that's the way you want to go, please talk to the folks at Richland. Either to store if you're a GM person or a Chrysler Dodge guy, doesn't matter. Come, either one will help you out and get you and do the same thing here. So,
yeah.
But definitely, and then of course, service as well too. If you're new to the area and you're looking for a place to take your vehicle, don't forget the service department at either Richland location. They'll full service, and they do all vehicles, even ones that they don't sell. So they got you covered. So, and like we said earlier, the staff, they're honest, no nonsense. They'll give you the straight scoop on what you need and what you don't need and that kind of thing.
Well, and the vast majority of our staff at both stores have been there for years. And
they are regulars.
Yeah, they've been there for a long time. So it's very rare you're going to see a new face. And when you do meet some of these new faces that we do hire, they fit in so well to the group that it's like you already know them.
Sure.
So,
and I know that's something that you fostered with all of your staffs and things, is that camaraderie thing, and that's part of why they're still there all these time. You just talked about. You got a lot of people been there a long time. It's because y'all created a work environment because let's face it, y'all work in an industry that if you're not happy here, there's about 12 other places you could go to. You know what I mean? And so to see in an industry that can be volatile like that, to have stability, that speaks volumes. You know what I'm saying? When you know there's an industry where the people generally don't stay long at a place, that's just the nature of sales. That's what it is. But to see those folks stay at one location for 10, 15, 20 years, that speaks volumes to the company to me.
Yeah, and one of the things, I don't know if I've ever talked about this with you, but we have our sales staff divided into teams now. So when you buy a car, you're not dealing with just your salesman. There's 2 other salesmen on that team, so 3 people. And so the attention to detail now that you get with us is so great because instead of
everyone's got a couple backups now.
Yeah, instead of one person trying to figure out and make sure that your deal goes smooth, you have one guy that's helping you put together your numbers as soon as you agree. The other one's running to get it cleaned up and filled up and ready for you.
Nice.
Helping you get your car done. And so
it's like that NASCAR pit crew.
It's 100% what it's like. And we were real unsure how it was going to be when we started, but because we have such a great staff that took pride in what they do, this has been such a good positive move, and we've gotten nothing but great feedback from our customers.
That's awesome.
Because of the attention to detail, because now instead of just one, you got three people on a team.
Absolutely.
And then because they're so used to working as a team, everyone else in the dealership is helping and asking questions if they need anything. And so
that's awesome.
It makes it just, it's cultivating an atmosphere that is just making people come in and enjoy being around.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Especially, and for folks that don't know the industry per se, that's what's more amazing in that is, let's face it, when you have people working on commission, it can get cutthroat.
Yeah.
You're like, I'm not helping that guy. I'm not getting paid on that one. And so you got, it's very easy to have that mindset in a dealership or any place that does sales that works off commission like that. And so for you guys to not only combat that problem, but go over the top with it and say, no, everybody's helping everybody, and you win, we win, we all win, and that's and even putting it in those group things and doing that. I mean, to me, that's pretty cool. I like that because you're actually taking something that's kind of notorious in that world and eliminating it. You know,
and in sales, you want to be there all the time.
Sure.
And so you didn't want to miss anything. You skipped vacations. You did all this stuff, and because of this team atmosphere that we have now, if your son has a baseball game in the evening or you're going to help coach, these guys they manage their team well enough that they're being able to have more of a home and social life.
Yeah.
And all that does is make them happier to be at work when home life is so much easier because they get to go to stuff.
Absolutely.
And don't feel like they're risking losing out on part of their livelihood.
Absolutely.
I mean, because now they have a team that's covering them. And,
yeah. Well, and that's and I imagine in the auto sales industry, that's the biggest issue is burnout because people, like you said, work 6, sometimes 7 days a week doing this. And now that they're like, no, if it's a team, wait a minute, I don't have to work 7 days a week. We got a team here. I could take a day off, and then I'm going to do my thing and play ball with my kids and all that, and then I'll go to work, and then they got it. What a novel concept,
Yeah,
but that's great because to me, those are some of the problems that auto companies deal with as far as retaining employees, getting quality employees, keeping and advancing. You're kind of combating all those problems that car industries have when it comes to personnel at a dealership.
Yeah, we're fixing what could be a personnel issue by just making sure we're super attentive to the customer.
Yeah.
And we were able to kill two birds with one stone by and me as a manager walking out into a showroom and seeing all of your sales staff with smiles on their faces, happy, laughing, looking for their next customer that they can talk to, but enjoying actually being at work instead of sitting there complaining, looking at their watch.
Right.
We were there last night till 7:20 before we realized it was time to go 20 minutes ago. Because
it was just busy and
just little
doing
stuff going on, and
we're like, oh man, we just blew through the
with the time change and it getting lighter in the evening, we look up and like, hey, we could have went home like 20 minutes ago, guys. And
time flies when you're having fun.
Yeah,
right?
So it's a fun time, and
that's great.
The car business has always been fun to me, but just right now the stuff that Travis has implemented at the dealership and that we've just kind of run with it's been fun.
Good.
And it's making everyone happy, not only our sales staff but our customers too.
Well, I'm glad to see that. So for folks listening out there, if you're looking for a new vehicle or thinking about a vehicle or you got a vehicle to trade in, please reach out to Richland. Come on by either dealership, the Dodge dealership at the Y or the GM dealership here on 2nd. Come on down. Like you said, staff will take care of you. Whatever you're looking for, go online. If you go to, I always just Google Richland and the websites pop right up. You can, if you're looking for a particular thing, you want to kind of scan the lot online. You can see what's available from the comfort of your home before you make a trip on down to the dealership, and then come talk to the folks. And then, like you said, if you don't see on the lot, but you're like, man, I've been wanting this Tahoe for years now. Come down and order it. Let's get your order in, and you can pick the color, the wheels,
and if you're very specific on what you're wanting used, you just come in and tell us. Talk to one of my sales staff, and what they'll do is they'll put you on a wish list. And so the second that thing pops up into our inventory, you're going to get an email before the salesman even realizes it's there.
So you got people keeping eyes out for you already.
Yeah, because you're in the system saying that that's what you're looking for.
Nice.
And so they'll get an alert, you'll get an alert, and then they'll contact you saying, "Hey, guess what? We just got in exactly what you're looking for."
Yeah, absolutely. So come down, talk to the folks, let them take care of you, and let them do the hunting and digging for what you're looking for here too. I know we're going to talk more about this next Friday, but just to put on people's radar, of course, next weekend is Easter. Of course, Richland will be having a little Easter fun next weekend as well too.
Yeah, we partner up with Head Turners Car Club. This will be the second year, and they do a ton of eggs. We do free snow cones. Just give you a reason to come and do a little Easter.
Bring the kids, do Easter egg
Yeah, we do it in the park right behind the dealership.
Enchanted Hills there, or whatever.
Yeah, right there. Yeah. Everyone will be on the lot. We'll walk over there for that. Their car club will have a bunch of cars. They'll also be on the lot during that day.
Nice. So come and check them out.
We'll have the Easter Bunny there and stuff like that, and they'll. It was a blast last year.
Yeah, the car show's fun, and there's some sweet rides that came out. I know last year there were some real cool. So if you're not just looking for a car for yourself, but just want to see some cool, and usually it's the gamut, classic hot rods to newer stuff to kind of your low riders. It's kind of a cool little mix of vehicles there too. So.
And one thing I'd like to add is if you're interested in maybe joining our staff. We're always looking for people, so you can apply online. You can come into the dealership. We're currently looking for mechanics. We're always interviewing for sales staff. Our body shop's looking for a couple of painters and body guys. So any of that stuff you're looking to do and have experience in, come down and talk to us.
Absolutely, and talk about growth and stuff. Because correct me if I'm wrong, Freddie, but you just started out as some guy rolling in selling cars, right? And then you've kind of worked your way up to management and that kind of thing.
Yeah, I've started selling cars, worked in our parts department, and went back to sales.
You're kind of the proof is in the pudding, that growth and all that. You just rolled in as a guy selling, hey, I need a job selling cars, and here you are, running the dealership.
Yeah, and it's just a testament of what hard work does. We got lots of guys that have been there for a long time and worked their way up just by doing a good job. And the car business is cool because any other job I've ever done, the more work I did, the more they asked me to do. And in the car business, the more work I do, the better I get paid.
Absolutely.
And so I like that atmosphere. If I work harder, I'm going to, my living and livelihood is a benefit of that. And
absolutely. Well, it's a nice feeling to know. It's like, hey, if I worked hard, look, at least I can see what I got. A lot of people work hard in jobs and they kind of look back and like, what did I have for it? And, so it's nice to say, no, this is what I've got for it.
And when people ask me what I do, I still, even though I'm a manager, I still say to this day, I sell cars.
Yeah,
because that's ultimately that's what I do. I sell cars.
Exactly, and even as a manager, you may not be the one that kind of initiated is talking with the clients and things like that, but when it comes to working the deals and when the sales rep's like, all right, this is what can we work this? You're the guy that's kind of helping. Massage the numbers and making everything.
And I want to talk to every customer too. If you took that away from me and said I couldn't talk to people anymore, I probably wouldn't enjoy my job as much.
I've heard this and this is because the car dealership. You live local enough, everybody knows everybody, and all the different dealerships and things like that. This better than I do. And I will tell you this, just because of my job in radio, and you get to talk to all the people and stuff. Freddie's always been known as the numbers guy. Like no matter, even rival dealerships, people are like, oh, Freddie, he's the guy that works magic on numbers. So if you need help with numbers, Freddie's got you covered.
There's some truth to that.
Absolutely. But come on out next weekend.
Yes.
Is that Saturday?
That's Saturday,
all day
yes.
or all morning Saturday into the afternoon there. Come on out, bring the kids, come have fun and find some Easter eggs and come on out to the park and
and you guys will be there too.
Yes, we'll have the radio out there and Shorty Sean Smalls will be out there doing his thing, and we'll hopefully get a bunch of cars too because that's the draw. I mean, I mean all that stuff's fun, but to walk around the lot and see them cool classic cars and stuff, That's my favorite.
Yeah, weather's supposed to be nice, so it's going to be a nice day.
Knock on wood.
Yeah.
And while you're out there, check out some of the new vehicles on the lot here. Check out the new latest from GM and Buick and all that stuff. So, and if you're looking, there's vehicles there now. Come on in, and there's more coming every day. So, good deal. Fred, is there anything we failed to talk about, or anything we skipped?
No, my big thing I want to talk about was the lifetime powertrain stuff that we're rolling out. So I think we were able to touch that, and it's a big deal. So if you have questions about it, come down and talk to us. Absolutely. We'd be happy to answer them for you.
Especially in a world where people are holding on to things longer. Things like lifetime powertrain. It certainly gives you a good reason to hold on to it. Yep. That thing's covered. Because really, at the end of the day, that's the expensive part. When you have an older car, 10-plus-year-old car, the powertrain, the engine, training, that's the expensive stuff to replace. And if that's covered, you're just walking around worry-free or driving around worry-free.
Peace of mind.
Absolutely. So, thank you, Freddie.
No, thank you. Thanks for having me.
Anytime. Have a good weekend. We'll see you next time.
I'll see you next Friday.
All right, it is 7:50. Let us pause for some local news, Kim Commando update, also a quick commercial break, your Chaves County sports update, and I think that's about it. We'll be back. Don't go away.
Now for your Pecos Valley News Update. I'm Jared Cirillo. A developing story out of Carlsbad today where a man is now jailed for shooting and killing a teenager. 21-year-old Eric Garcia was arrested in the 800 block of Waco Street. Police have not described how the man might know the boy or if he's related. Garcia is being held at the Eddy County Jail with no bond. Anyone with information about the ordeal is being urged to call 885-2111. Construction continues on a project to rebuild about 10 miles of US 285 at Malaga. Crews currently in the second phase of a project to rebuild the entire roadway, extend and replace concrete box culverts to improve drainage, and rehab the existing bridge over the salt draw. The phase is expected to last the next couple of weeks and will cause traffic to be shifted to the northbound lanes at the southern end of the project and the southbound lanes at the northern end. Only one lane of traffic open in each direction for the next several weeks. You're up to date. I'm Jared Cirillo reporting.
Today marks the end, the death of the metaverse. I'm Kim Commando, brought to you by NetSuite, the #1 cloud financial system. Get no payments or interest for 6 months at netsuite.com/Kim. It was tech's hottest concept just 2 years ago. The metaverse was supposed to be this beautiful, gargantuan, utopian make-believe world where you could be anything. The idea became an obsession for Facebook's Mark Zuckerberg. He bet the farm on it. He changed Facebook's company name to Meta Platforms, Inc. Virtual real estate was selling at astronomical rates, but not so much the expensive virtual 3D headsets you need to get into the metaverse. After spending billions, Zuck's metaverse still looked like a sad and lonely cartoon world. Today, Disney, Microsoft, and others have bailed out. The value of metaverse virtual real estate has cratered by 95%. And as for Meta, it's pivoted to, wait for it, artificial intelligence. Welcome to the party, Mark. And for great content on the go, be sure to get my daily longer podcast called Kim Commando Today. If you own a small business, you know the value of time. GetRefunds.com does too. That's why they've made it easy, no matter how busy you are, to apply for the Employee Retention Credit, or ERC. Go to GetRefunds.com to get started, and in less than 8 minutes, see if your business qualifies for ERC assistance. Your business may be eligible for a payroll tax refund of up to $26,000 per employee kept on payroll during COVID-19. GetRefunds.com has already helped clients claim over $3 billion in payroll tax refunds through the ERC, and they may be able to help yours too. There's no upfront charge either. They don't get paid until your business gets its refund. Many businesses believe they won't qualify based off incomplete or outdated information. So don't let this opportunity pass you by, because this payroll tax refund is only available for a limited time. Go to GetRefunds.com. That's GetRefunds.com. GetRefunds.com.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Pretty windy today, gusts of 35 to 40 miles an hour as cold front moves across our area. We should have sunshine, though, and our high in the mid-70s. Upper 30s overnight, still windy and clear skies, and then lots of sun coming up for Saturday. Still breezy, but not as windy. Our high should be in the mid-70s. Clear for Saturday night, we're back to the mid-80s and sunny on Sunday. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
It's It's time for the Chavez County Sports Report. Exciting day for baseball yesterday if you're at Roswell High. If you're the visiting Lovington Wildcats, maybe not so much so. Roswell sweeps a pair from the Wildcats yesterday and now moves their record up to 6-7 on the season. In the first game, the score was 5-4. Now, both of these were one-run games. First game was 5-4. Ivan Miramontes had a home run for the Coyotes. In the second game, more runs scored, still a one-run difference. 9-8 was the final. And home runs for Roswell from Isaac Loya, Sylvester Lomelli, and Rico Lujan. Roswell next in action at home, a doubleheader against Artesia on Tuesday. And you've got a doubleheader between Dexter and NMMI in baseball tomorrow. That starts at 11 a.m. at Dexter. And you've also got Dexter playing at Loving in a softball doubleheader, starts at 11. The Sports Report brought to you by DSI. Call DSI for all your office technology needs. I'm Eric Butler at Roswell's Talk FM 106.5.
With the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Bill Alexander. Stocks rose Thursday as a bit more fear evaporated from Wall Street. Wells Fargo will pay fines of about $97.8 million for inadequate oversight of its compliance risk, enabling the apparent violation of U.S. sanctions against Iran, Syria, and Sudan. That's according to federal authorities. The Federal Reserve and the Treasury Department's Office of Foreign Assets Control said the bank's deficient oversight enabled it to violate U.S. sanctions by providing a trade finance platform to a foreign bank that used it to process $532 million in prohibited transactions. 3 Federal Reserve officials kept the door open on Thursday to more rate rises aimed at lowering high levels of inflation, with 2 noting banking sector problems could generate enough headwinds on the economy to help cool price pressures faster than expected. For the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Bill Alexander in Washington.
Hey, Jennifer from Trustmark Roofing. Trustmark is one of the only roofing companies that's also a licensed commercial and residential general contractor.
Wow.
I know, who cares, right? Well, you should care. You see, a licensed roofer can install a new roof on your home, but really can't handle structural problems underneath. So if your roof needs reframing or your chimney needs a water-diverting cricket, you may need to call a licensed general contractor. And coordinating 2 companies for your roofing job can get costly and messy fast. As a licensed roofer and general contractor, Trustmark can install a stunning new roof on your home and handle structural issues. This saves you time, money, hassle, and even makes it easier to file an insurance claim. Call today for your 20% off coupon for our spring roof and gutter maintenance service. 575-755-ROOF or visit us at TrustmarkRoofPros.com.
Trustmark Roofing, we put people first.
Time for some facts. Xena Security Services, LLC is 100% locally owned and operated. You may have heard rumors that Xena Security was purchased by another company. Rest assured, these claims are absolutely false. Xena Security has been and will continue to be a trusted, locally owned and operated company dedicated to providing our customers the security and monitoring solutions they need for their home or business. Don't believe these rumors. Be secure in your security with locally owned and operated Xena Security. Call 575-626-3521 or stop by 218 West 1st in Roswell. Xena Security Services, LLC, locally owned and there when you need it most.
Have you ever felt like your life was just a pile of rubble? Maybe you're there now. There are many stories throughout the Bible of God coming to people in the midst of the rubble of their lives and rescuing them out of it. God rescued his chosen people, the Israelites, out of the rubble of their own rebellion, both literally and figuratively, over and over again when they called out to him. Jesus often comes into contact with people at their worst and shows them love and grace. He even tells the parable of the prodigal son who leaves his family, taking his inheritance with him, basically turning his back on his father. The son throws his money away partying, but he knows in his heart that his father will take him back. As he attempts to beg for forgiveness and asks to be a slave, his father runs to him, accepts him with open arms, and has a celebration for his return. God offers each and every one of us the same thing. He offers us freedom from the slavery of our sin and from the rubble of our life. No matter what mess you find yourself in, God can rescue you.
Join us at the Country Club Road Church of Christ for worship at 10 a.m. on Sunday, located on the corner of Country Club and Washington in Roswell.
The average American spends 2.5 days a year looking for lost items. We aren't sure how long Europeans and Asians looked for lost stuff. We lost the list. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is closing in on 7:59. Stay tuned. Next hour, we're going to replay an interview. We had John from Oasis Computers join us a couple weeks ago, so we're going to play that for you next hour. He always comes in with great information about technology and stuff. It's odd. I usually get because we talk computers and things, and I kind of wonder people, but I get more people that talk about. I loved hearing y'all and John, so. People like it, so we're going to play that for you next hour. And then in the 9 o'clock hour, we're going to replay an interview. We had the folks from Friends of Bitter Lake join us yesterday talking about a butterfly event tomorrow up at Bitter Lake, and then a Earth Day event happening in April. And then just talking about Bitter Lake. So we're going to play that for you in the 9 o'clock hour. So that's what we got going on for the rest of today's show. Again, big thank you to McDonald's. For sponsoring the show each and every Friday. If you are hungry, and it's Friday about that time, swing on by any McDonald's near you. Don't forget to download that app and utilize it. It's going to save you a whole bunch of time and money, too, in the long run. All right, we're going to get you into Town Hall News next. You're listening to 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM, KEND, Roswell, New Mexico. We'll be back on the other side of news.
News this hour from townhall.com. I'm Rich Thomason. Americans weigh in on the indictment of former president and current presidential candidate Donald Trump.
Just think it's stupid, it's going to not get anywhere, and it will come back to be bad on the Democrats.
That woman in Nashville, Eric Trump, describes his father's indictment as third world prosecutorial misconduct. And Senator Ted Cruz is speaking out.
Senator Cruz tweets that the Democrat Party's hatred for Donald Trump knows no bounds. He writes, quote, "The substance of this political persecution is utter garbage. The former president denies any wrongdoing in the alleged hush money scheme, in which he is accused of paying a former mistress hush money during his 2016 presidential campaign, then paying his attorney to hide the payments as legal fees. Republicans see it as an effort to weaponize the Justice Department and keep Donald Trump off the ballot in 2024. Bob Agnew reporting.
And the former president says the Democrats have, quote, done the unthinkable, indicting a completely innocent person in an act of blatant election interference. 2 Memphis police officers shot and wounded. It happened last evening as they were looking into a report of someone with a gun. There was a brief foot chase. Shots were fired. The officers and the suspect wounded. The officers and the suspect hospitalized in critical condition. While inflation did rise again last month, at least the pace of the increase was a bit slower than the month before. The Commerce Department reports that consumer prices rose 0.3% from January to February. That was down from a 0.6 increase December to January. Wall Street seems to be pleased with that inflation report. Stocks trading higher this morning. Right now, the Dow is up 180 points. The Nasdaq Composite Index ahead 70, and the S&P is trading 22 points higher. More on these stories at townhall.com.
People ask me sometimes, Lance, I'm worried about my finances and I feel bad because...
Here's an important message from the Diabetes Solution Center. Do you like pricking your fingers to test your blood sugar levels? No one does, but it's important to maintain your health. And now, by wearing a small remote device called a continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, you don't need to prick your fingers anymore. It's easy to use and helps you make more accurate diabetes treatment decisions. If you are testing your blood sugar 3 or more times daily, injecting insulin, or using an insulin pump, call the Diabetes Solution Center right now. And if you have Medicare or most major insurance coverage, you may be able to get a new CGM at little to no out-of-pocket cost. Shipping is free and will even bill your insurance company for you. If you are testing your blood sugar 3 or more times daily, injecting insulin, or using an insulin pump, call the Diabetes Solution Center right now to learn how to end the painful finger sticks and get your own continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, at little to no out-of-pocket cost.
Finland gets a green light to join NATO now that Turkey has ratified the country's membership.
Finland is going to fit very neatly into NATO's what's called ORBAT, Order of Battle. And really, President Putin has achieved the exact opposite of what he set out to do by invading Ukraine. His aim was to check the expansion of of NATO and basically sort of restrain the West. And of course, this has had quite the opposite effect because Finland's got a huge 1,300 kilometer shared border with Russia. It doesn't mean to say that the two states have to now be hostile to each other, but it's a bad day for Moscow.
The BBC's Frank Gardner. A government survey shows China's factory activity grew at a slower pace in March, still though stronger than expected. A monthly purchasing managers index declined to 51.9, that from February's 52.6 reading. News and analysis at townhall.com. What to do about a growing number of suicides? That is the challenge facing the U.S. Navy.
So the Navy will make chaplains regular members of the crew on ships with more than 300 sailors, instead of only on the largest carriers as in the past. The goal is for chaplains who are both clergy in different denominations and naval officers to connect with sailors, believers and non-believers alike, as life coaches. Complete confidentiality protects all of their conversations, making them a relief valve for young sailors, especially who are struggling with mental health and lack the usual coping mechanisms of online communication while at sea. John Scott reports.
35 bodies found inside a well at a Hindu temple in central India. Authorities say dozens of people fell into the well after its cover gave way. Authorities on the scene fear the death toll could rise. More on these stories at townhall.com.
What in the wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man on this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The travel witch and what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 6 minutes after 8 o'clock. Welcome to hour number 2 of Mornings with Mike Winters, right here on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM. You know what's so great about this, Deuce?
What's that?
It's a Friday.
It's the Fridays.
It is.
That's right.
Happy Friday. We are in hour number 2 of your Friday. Happy Friday, everybody.
If you're not in a great mood yet, don't worry, there's plenty of time to turn that around.
Yeah, it's going to be at least warm this weekend. I mean, a little windy, but not bad. It's spring. Well, I got plans. Gonna go outdoors and do stuff this weekend, maybe, or go out to an event or something. There's lots going on. But
yep. The wind gonna cooperate relatively this weekend, hopefully.
Yeah. I think Sunday might be a little windy.
Sure.
But
tomorrow's looking semi-decent.
Actually, no, 10 to 15 on Sunday. So
nice.
5 to 15 tomorrow, 10 to 15. So those aren't bad at all.
I'll take it. Come on out and join us, Roswell Honda, tomorrow 10 to 1. We'll be broadcasting live there. We'll be doing all kinds of stuff, doubling up refunds. Your tax refund up to, I believe, $2,000.
Nice.
So, come on out.
Good deal.
Clearing the lot.
You'll be out there 10 to 1, you said?
10 to 1. We'll have hot dogs, ice cold Pepsis, and you can sign up to win the Roswell Honda Mystery Bag O' Cash that we're going to be giving away at 1 p.m.
Ooh, I like bags of cash.
It's, you know what? You never know what you're going to get.
I like a bag of cash. That's no mystery.
Yeah, bag o' cash in general is I'll take, if you're presented with bag o' cash or bag o' glass, you should probably take bag of cash, generally speaking. You're going to have, your kids will have a lot of fun with bag of glass, obviously.
Yes.
Because it's fun. It's fun time for the whole family. Here's glass. There's shots of glass. We have a good time. It's a bag of glass. But the bag of cash is a bag of cash. So I would argue...
You can buy a bag of glass with a bag of cash.
You can buy several bags of glass.
Depending on the glass.
That's right, depending on the cash.
Yeah, if you go to, the Crystal Swarovski stores.
That's right. Now, I know it's 2023. Inflation is real. And bags of glass aren't going for nearly as little as they used to these days. But, hey, if you got a bag of cash, you can get yourself a bag of glass.
Hey, that reminds me. Do you know how, every year... around Christmas, they like cost analyze the 12 Days of Christmas song?
Yep.
Like, did that thing jump up like a couple 100,000 or something?
It wasn't. Well, it's gone up. It's gone up significantly over the last 3 years, every single year on year. But in the last year, and I know this because I get this report every single year on my show prep. Last year, it jumped more than it's ever jumped in the history of PNG doing the research for it not because of COVID, but because of inflation and shortages.
Supply and demand.
Yeah, supply chain issues. So last year, like the cost, they said, what was it? What went up the most? I can't remember what it was. I want to say it was the pear tree maybe that went up the most.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It was one of the plants I think that went up No, I'm sorry. It was the dancers. The 10 ladies dancing.
Oh.
Because the cost to rent a dancing lady in 2023 has gone up significantly.
Oh, even more than Lords of Leaping?
Mm-hmm. Turns out, yeah.
Okay. I guess you can get a Lord on the cheap.
What are Lords doing these days?
Yeah,
Lording it up, right.
But, okay, so, if you ever had a dream of recreating the 12 Days of Christmas, you might want to wait till inflation goes down.
Did you hear any of that went down like a few months ago with the whole, what was the company's name? Oh, crud. Established Titles. That's what it was. So, like everybody who had a YouTube channel was doing these live read ads for Established Titles. What it was is this company, Established Titles, was selling these 1 square foot plots of land in Scotland. Okay. And they were selling them under what they were purporting as this old law on the books in Scotland, that if you own land, if you're a landowner in Scotland, that you can literally declare yourself a lord or a lady.
I vaguely remember this story.
Right. And a lot of people were going, you can now call me Lord Ollie Davis. Or
so it's kind of like buying a star named after you kind of thing.
Right.
Yeah.
But they weren't forward on the website letting people know that no, none of this is true. This is all just this is for entertainment purposes only.
So people were thinking they're actually lords and ladies.
Exactly, yeah.
Because they owned a square foot of land in Ireland.
That's how they were advertising. Is they said you could put it on your passport, you could put it on your credit card, you could put it on you could officially call yourself Sir Sean Smalls. For example.
Wow.
Yeah.
That was the main selling point.
Yeah, was that you could put it on
what was one of these squares going for?
Like $30-something.
That's it, to be a lord?
$30 to $50, I'm sure, yeah.
Shoot, I'll be a double lord. Yeah. I'll get 2 feet.
And then all these
to help trees grow.
Right, yeah, that was the other thing is they were using a portion of the proceeds in carbon offsets, so that was you're helping a great cause and you get this designation or whatever.
I could barely put 1 tree in my square foot of land.
Yeah, you could. Good luck. Because eventually that square foot's your square foot's going to encroach on somebody else's.
I was hoping to put a hammock up.
Right. Just a tiny hammock. But a big selling point was a bunch of these influencers were if you act now and use my code, you can get a plot near mine.
Ooh.
So you'll have land on some property that's near. And then it came out that they weren't actually designated the land for anybody.
It wasn't even real.
It didn't even
visit
exist.
It?
Yeah.
Oh.
You can't go and see your square.
No, I'm going to Ireland. I want to see my square and I want a flag on it too.
Still tiny MW.
Literally a square.
That's right. You can take my land, but you can't take my freedom. I'd stand on that square.
Tiptoeing in that square.
I'd have a kilt on. I know that's Scottish, but I don't care.
No, it is. It's Scotland.
I'm going to Braveheart my one square foot of land.
Is that a sporran?
You're not going to quarter me and put me all in the corners of my land. I'm already there. Look, here I am.
Was that 4 corners? How about 16 corners? You have 1 foot touch 16 corners of land all at once.
You will not mess with Lord Mike's land. Any turf builder? I got a little brown spot right here on my land.
Your square foot's a little unkempt. Just no grass. All the grass is worn off.
The HOA is making me cut my square foot of grass.
There's a tiny Ford Fairlane up on blocks.
No, it's a Mini Cooper.
No.
It's European.
Right.
All right. After our little fantasy jaunt there, we probably should get the hour going. Big thank you to McDonald's.
Yes.
Hey, McDonald's, if I got a square, I'll let you set up shop on my square.
Ooh, little
mini McDonald's.
Itty bitty Mickey D's.
Right there on my square of land. And
Heck yeah.
Mike, I'm going to need to name it a country.
Mykovia.
Yes, McDonald's. I got a spot for you in Mykovia. It's a mini one.
Hail to thee, Mycovia, where Mickey D's is all we eat. See? You got a theme song, or you got an anthem and everything.
I do. Man.
I can't wait to hear about the fall of Mycovia.
My state bird's a chicken because they're delicious.
It was when Mike Squarefoot decided that he needed to encroach on others' land that things started getting serious. Tiny cannon fire.
The McDonald's in Mycovia wanted to add a second drive-through. Therefore, he must invade the land of the Smiths.
He needed Oliver's land to the south.
So there was
and Jim's land to the north.
There was a Twitter war where the Mycovian forces of 6 guys in plastic underpants outdueled in the Twitter wars to win Oliver's land.
Then cut to a talking head of some dude in a rocking chair like, I remember that battle. Wars were fought on that tiny land. We lost many, many tiny people that day.
Mike versus the Plastic Pants Nation.
I need some more members. There's a lot of Plastic Pants Nation.
Plastic Pants Nation.
All right, it is 8:14. Let's go ahead and get you up to date on the weather.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Pretty windy today, gusts of 35 to 40 miles an hour as cold front moves across our area. We should have sunshine, though, and our high in the mid-70s. Upper 30s overnight, still windy and clear skies, and then lots of sun coming up for Saturday. Still breezy, but not as windy. Our high should be in the mid-70s. Clear for Saturday night, we're back to the mid-80s and sunny on Sunday. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
Thank you, Steve. Currently 50 degrees here in Roswell. Humidity's at 33%. Winds currently out of the northwest at 14 miles per hour. We are in a wind advisory until 7 p.m. this evening and a red flag warning until 6 p.m. this evening. That's because it is going to be windy and breezy and dry today. Sunny, 72. Winds will be out of the northwest, 20 to 25, gusting as high as 35 miles per hour later today. Mostly clear tonight. Expect an overnight low of 36 degrees. North winds 15 to 20, dropping down 5 to 10 after midnight. Saturday, mostly sunny and 77. Northwest winds 5 to 15 miles per hour. Saturday night, mostly clear with an overnight low of 41 degrees. South winds 15 to 20, dropping down 5 to 10 after midnight. For Sunday, sunny skies, high of 86. Northwest winds 10 to 15 miles per hour. Sunday night, mostly clear, overnight low of 47. And then when you head back to work and school Monday, sunny skies and breezy with a high of 86. All right, it is 16 minutes after 8 o'clock. We're going to take about a 2.5-minute commercial break, and then we're going to play our interview we had earlier in the month with John from Oasis Computers. That's up next. Don't go away.
Hey, this is Jennifer from Trustmark Roofing. Every storm chaser's worst nightmare. You know storm chasers, those out-of-town roofers that descend on neighborhoods after big storms. They come in, do a crummy job, then poof, they're gone forever. Well, a few years ago, our area had a hailstorm, and right on cue, storm chasers showed up. I was driving home from work one evening and saw one talking to an elderly lady on her porch. I said, "Not today, buddy." I did a U-turn, pulled in the driveway, and walked right up to them. I warned the woman who they were talking to, and I chased away the storm chaser. The woman's daughter called me later and said a storm chaser ripped them off a few years ago. She thanked me for stopping this one and chose Trustmark for her roof. Trustmark Roofing. Every storm chaser's nightmare. Every homeowner's champion. Call today for your 20% off coupon for our spring and roof gutter maintenance service. 575-755-ROOF or visit TrustmarkRoofPros.com.
Trustmark Roofing, we put people first.
ENMU Roswell offers high school students the opportunity to get a head start on their college education journey into healthcare. Through the Allied Health Careers Pathway, high school learners can enroll in dual credit courses that introduce them to a wide range of careers that include emergency medical technician, paramedic, nursing, occupational therapy, respiratory therapy, medical assisting, phlebotomy, and nursing assistant. Start your healthcare career path at ENMU Roswell. Contact your high school counselor for more information.
Have you ever met a single person in your life that enjoys paying taxes? No, no one does. If you can't sleep at night because you have a huge problem with the IRS, I've got some free advice for you. This service is strictly limited to individuals that owe the IRS $10,000 or more in back taxes. And if you qualify, we can guarantee that you won't be writing a big fat check to the IRS, or our services cost you nothing. The first 100 100 people that call today will get a free tax consultation worth $500. Stop worrying about your IRS problem. We can help you, we promise. Call the tax doctor right now. I mean right now to learn more.
800-817-2871. 800-817-2871. 800-817-2871. That's 800-817-2871.
The average American spends 2.5 days a year looking for lost items. We aren't sure how long Europeans and Asians look for lost stuff. We lost the list. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 20 minutes after 7 o'clock, and joining us in studio this morning from Oasis Computers, John's back with us. Morning, John.
Good morning.
How's life at the Oasis Computers?
Very quiet at the moment. The whole industry is complaining it's slow and they're laying people off. Yeah, I can see it. It's very slow. If you need anything fixed, good time to bring it in.
All right. So if you're trying to get some work done, and
don't wait. It's a very good time to bring it in. You'll be helped right away because I'm waiting for people.
Good deal. Well,
right.
So there's the positive spin.
Right.
If you've got computer issues, want to do an upgrade. Maybe been thinking about upgrading something. Now's the time to go ahead and pull the trigger on that.
Check it out. It's been extremely quiet.
Good deal. Yeah, you wonder. I know you look at the financial world right now, and you're seeing the Silicon Valley Bank and these other banks that are in trouble, and a lot of tech companies have ties to some of these banks and things.
Yeah.
So you wonder how much how quick that impacts. When the money side impacts the actual product side.
Well, I think it went the other way around. The COVID was going on. Everybody needed stuff.
Yeah.
And sales went up, and hiring went up, and everything went up, and times were great for the tech industry. I could see it myself. We were busy with everything.
Sure.
Fixing up stuff.
Everybody needed
selling
you.
Stuff. Yeah, everybody needs you.
Yeah.
Well, then, since about a little after mid last year, September, something like that, it started really suddenly just slowing down. It just, sales went down, everything went down. The repairs for what goes out comes in. But there's nobody coming, I need a computer for working at home or whatever.
Sure.
Every once in a while we got a little bit of an issue, but it just stopped. But it makes sense, You're not going to buy another computer now if you just bought one.
Sure. Everyone kind of got what they needed,
Right.
and they're good with what they have till that gets outdated or runs its course.
Well,
or whatever.
Microsoft's trying to help it. They come out with 11 and made a whole bunch of machines obsolete.
Sure.
So
you think about it in those terms, but when you think about it from that perspective, it kind of makes all sense. It's like, well, of course, if we're seeing that, all right, technology's not needed, what do we do to create a new demand? Here we go. Let's update our computer software system.
Well,
make everybody change their stuff. It's a brilliant idea.
like to make sales, but I think if you have good working equipment, you shouldn't just.
I think that's a lot of people's ideologies.
We look outside with the climate and with the landfill filling up and the plastic in the ocean.
Yeah.
To make stuff last. All for if it's not working, replace it. If it's bad, fix it. And if it doesn't do the job, get a new one.
Sure.
By all means, don't hang on to old stuff that don't work for you.
But we've changed our mindset in electronics sometimes. I mean, yes, in computers, you upgrade probably as you need more beef, more software, more juice.
Well, it's maturing.
But phones and things and these kind of electronics where most of us are going now, we're almost trained now. Well, you should only have that phone like 2 years, and you got to upgrade to the new one. You don't need to be carrying. You know what I mean? And
no, I don't.
Well, I know you don't, but I think that's the way they're training us.
Get another one, and
and
so like with everything, it's making.
I think that's part of that problem too, though, because I think
we need to change our mindset as human beings.
Yeah,
the more better, the biggest one wins. That there's more to it than that.
Well, and I know when I was a kid, my grandparents grew up Depression era,
right,
and so those. That people of that generation are all about making things keep going, not, you know what I mean? Because they grew up in the Depression, you got something, you took care of it, and that mindset
You
with them.
you couldn't buy another one.
Yeah,
no
and
money for it, or it wasn't even there.
That's why some people's grandmothers had 87 plastic butter tubs in there,
right,
in the bottom cabinet there, or old mason jars and whatnot, because they would save everything. And I know my generation, others were kind of made fun of that ideology, and so, but as the older I get, the more I'm like, we should go back. They kind of had it right.
Well,
you
shouldn't just get new because it needs to be new.
Exactly.
If you compare back to the computers, when we got going with the store, it's almost 35 years ago, if somebody bring in a 5-year-old computer, and it's like, what's a piece of old crap, you know? Can you still use it? It was only 5 years old, and it was totally obsolete. And that time just gradually increased longer and longer. We got literally 18-year-old computers now that were high-end when they were new. They still do a good job. Some of the new stuff is not as fast as some of that 18-year-old stuff.
Sure.
And, if it works for a person, good. Now, if the technology changes where it doesn't match up no more, you can't do certain things. Well, yeah, okay, fine. But 10 years on a computer is fine, even 12, 13, depending on what you do with it. So let's make them last. But, that doesn't make much money for the...
I'm of that idea, because like my laptop now, it was probably state of the art 8 years ago. And and I have no plans to get. Like, as a matter of fact, I did an upgrade on it with you.
Yeah, we put the solid state drive in. It works fine.
I got another, as long as I want to keep it,
it does the job, and then they keep changing everything. It confuses everybody. Everybody hates Microsoft at the moment. Everybody coming in the store, it's now what is literally what you get. Well, they changed this to this and that to that, and that's why it don't work, or why it's different.
Sure. Now, are they doing some of this? Do you think it's the financial thing, or is it, because sometimes they do some of these changes to train us for the next generation of technology, like when they were starting to get into touch screens and things, they were changing the software to get us to utilize some of that. So some of what we see now, do you think it's getting us again to train for the next generation of technology here, or is it, no, this is a money grab? In your opinion,
I can't say that we should stop moving forward.
Sure.
New stuff, but it's almost like it goes too fast. We just get overrun with it, and just, and then if you just, whatever you do with a computer, whatever you do with it, and I do with it, whatever, what I mainly need it for, one thing is, QuickBooks on the point of sale for me, where I sell stuff.
Right.
That's accounting. That doesn't change. That's been invented in the 1500s or whatever for double entry accounting.
Yeah.
Then it got on a computer. We had spreadsheets, and then we got things like QuickBooks and whatever the other programs are. Point of sale made everything much easier. But it tallies it up. It does it. You can't really improve much on it. Other than it's changed, and now is hold on a second, I need to figure this out first.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. It's, some things, yes. But yeah, you're right. When it comes to a private company and people, let's face it, you get the design side of things, and once they've designed it and they're thinking, okay, especially if you get something like that, It's like, hey, doing math equations is math equations. It is what it is. There's nothing, right. And so you're like, okay, well, how do I keep my job? I know we're going to redesign the layout so it looks like I'm more important than you probably have some of that going on and some of there. But
well, what happens now is we've been struggling with it for a while. The everybody goes to a website, a place, or whatever, and what's the first thing you have to do? You have to make an account with it, sign in. If you want Facebook or Google with email,
it's some way that they can find out about you.
To a store or whatever, you buy stuff, make an account, try to make an account, and that's what everybody wants. Well, if you have an account, they have more control over you. You can easier keep track of and whatever. Some things make sense, some things don't really. Some things are beneficial to you.
Sure.
Something to the manufacturer, the seller, the whatever. But Microsoft has been missing that boat to a certain extent, or well, I don't know if they missed the boat. I don't know how to explain it, but when they started up on a desktop, it grew into a machine on each desktop. That was the vision.
Gotcha.
But in the meantime, the internet come in, new inventions come in. Google came by with good search and whatever. Microsoft in the early days said, "Oh, that whole internet thing is just a fad." Well, it took them about half a year to realize it wasn't, and they turned completely around and started changing things. So at that point, when you went somewhere, you started signing up with it. Microsoft coming from the desktop, there's no need to sign into anything. It's your computers right in front of you. It's your thing. And the benefit for Microsoft is that they can run advertising like Google does if you have the account and whatever. Now, on the other hand, a lot of benefits for the end user. I just working on a computer and it was slow. The last time it was in, I said, put a solid state drive in it. Will speed it up a lot. Well, not yet. We have just fixed this up. We'll just wait a little while. Well, it come in on, Friday, I think. People are out of town and say, you have 2 weeks to work on it. If you want, we'll be gone for 2 weeks. Okay, great, wonderful. I start on it and it's like, this is not working right. You click on the start button, nothing happens, for instance.
Okay.
You open up your browser or whatever, and it closes back off. And it's like, something really wrong here. So I ended up I cloned it, and it had the same problems. It didn't make any difference. So I cloned the problem over with it, too, and not functional.
So it means it's something in software?
Something got messed up, whatever. It's bad hardware, or if the old drive is bad, the corrupted files at that point go corrupt over to the new one. Even though the new one is good, it still has messed up
because it's
files.
sending over a broken file.
Right, something like that. So that didn't work out. So I started installing the stuff on it, and the thing is, the Microsoft account these days, more and more people get tricked into having one or understand why they maybe want one. And the Microsoft account, part of it will back your stuff up. And goes pretty much automatic, and it's if you don't have too much, it has enough space to put it on. If you need more, they prompt you to pay for more.
They probably will sell you.
That's where they make some money, whatever. Yeah. But anyway, there's a certain base amount is free. I'm not sure what it is.
Yeah.
So this particular machine, what I normally do is install Windows on it, a generic account, and what do you call it? Local account, what it's called, not a Microsoft account. And that's what people want. That's what they're asking for. They don't want to be with Microsoft at this point. And this one was set up with a Microsoft account. So with Windows 11, it's hard to not set up a Microsoft account. If you know how, it's pretty easy. But for normal people, you get prompted to set up your Microsoft account or make a Microsoft account.
Right.
And if you don't know any better, you're stuck until you make one or sign in with it, and then you can go on. So that is what mainly has changed. But in this particular case, the customer files, so this is one of the few that I've done so far. We with Windows 11, we need to make that account. And when people have it now, we set it up on the reinstall or the new machine or whatever.
Okay.
It pulled everything from the old machine back in. So it did that, and I said, well, I'm not convinced that I have everything. Let me just do like I always do, copy the files also over from the hard drive so that there's indeed nothing missing.
Sure.
And I can't copy them. Yeah, whatever is wrong with it, when I hook the drive up, I can't get into it. Now it says drive is corrupt or something like that, and I can't get any file. I haven't hooked it back up to the machine itself to see if it still boots up or not. It may have gone more bad or something. But all their files are back. The files that were on the desktop, they're all back now because of the Microsoft account.
Interesting.
Now, I don't know what it would have taken to get the files off the hard drive. Now we have a problem. We got a hard drive fixed, or even possibly have to send it in for data retrieval. It's very expensive.
Yeah.
So there's an obvious benefit for these folks that they had a Microsoft account. Their files came back by itself. And I'm not sure if all of them are backed up, but at this point, don't matter. I can't tell. I can't get into it. I can't see it.
It's a little weird.
Yeah, it's stuff like that happens. But so there's benefits of that, and benefit for Microsoft is obviously they can now sell you advertising too. And
absolutely,
unfortunately, they keep putting that more and more into Windows. Everywhere is some search and some stuff in it. Don't know if anybody's noticed, with Windows 11 on your right-hand side keeps popping up with stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It's caused a problem. It says your McAfee is out of date. They don't have McAfee.
Right.
It says McAfee has detected a problem. Their emails or whatever come in, they turn into notifications. They pop up. And since they pop up not in email, but on your computer on the right-hand side, people now think, oh, my God, I have a problem.
You think it's a notification from your software, not an advertisement.
Right, because it's not understood. So that's just a feature that's been added to it, and it's like, we don't want it. We don't care. We don't need the notifications. I'll look for what I need. And Microsoft, of course, turns around and says, you know, we have a new thing? And the notifications, really helpful. You got to have it. Please do not put it on my machine.
And you wonder...
Yep, here it is.
You wonder if that's by design. Like if we make it this way, it'll be... It's masked enough to keep us from saying, no, we weren't trying to but at the same time saying, now we're going to...
It's just like the time change. Most people don't want to change the time, but where do you put it for? Daylight savings time or the regular time?
Right.
You can't come up with can't agree on nothing.
Right.
Same thing here. Some people will find those notifications very handy.
Yeah.
I don't. It's not what I use my machine for.
Sure.
And more on my end, I don't want any notification. Don't tell me what. I go look once or twice a day for what I need to know.
Sure.
Emails, for instance. Pop, new email. What is it? Pop, new. What is it? No, I don't have time for that. I go in the morning when I get to work now after this, and there's nobody there yet. The first thing I do is run through my emails.
Sure.
And then maybe later in the day I do it one more time, depending on if I have time or not. Otherwise, it'll be in the morning again. I don't want to be reminded that I have an email from this, an email from that. If it's important to me, I'll be watching for it.
Sure.
If you expect a package to come in and you really need it,
then you're
going to sit at the door and wait till the mailman or the UPS
or
guy
you're
comes
constantly
up.
checking your tracking thing.
Whatever. But
is it sell for delivery?
If it's something that needs to come in, and whether it's here yesterday, today, or in 3 days, you don't need it at this point. You just want it to have it when the other one runs out or whatever it's for.
Sure.
So too much interruption, interference, and some people think that's great. Well, I don't.
Well, and too, that could be that generational, people, older folks like ourselves, we didn't grow up in an instant now generation, and now we have generations of people that literally they don't understand that things weren't available to them instantaneously like a lot of times they are now. And so you almost wonder if there's a little bit of a generational ideology there where younger folks, they're wanting the things that you're talking about, where people like us that have kind of gone a generation or two, doing the early days of computers, they're not so
I know, and
embracing of this
maybe
new stuff.
Maybe they like it, maybe they do, I don't know, but literally going through life like this.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
I get you.
That can be right.
Exactly. I know. But I wonder if that's, maybe we just got to realize, well, they're not building it for us anymore. They're building it for the young people, and I wonder if that's part of what we're dealing with.
But
on some of
I'm
this.
almost arguing, are we messing the young people up by telling them they can watch this all the time and they need the notification?
I don't disagree with you. I think you're right. But at the end of the day, I'm sure Microsoft's like, we're answering to stockholders. We're answering to Bill Gates.
That's the problem. And the answer to the people that buy you stuff a little bit too.
They don't care, and that is the problem. You're right. So I guess if you are more of the ilk of like no, then you need to make John your friend, and then let's go, and he can work on your computers and the things you need him to do. He'll keep them doing them as long as technology allows him to do that.
Yep, a little blunt about it. Many customers probably know, but I'll tell you if it's no good, if I feel like it's no good, and why.
Sure.
Now, on the other hand, what I feel is no good may be good for you. Compare it with a car. You have a car and you go to the grocery store. You're retired. You don't even have to go to work. And once in a while, you drive the thing twice a week. That's it.
Sure.
And you don't go further than the edge of town. The mall and the Walmart, whatever, the north end, and the airport on the south end. As furthest you go. You know, if that car is not really good and it's a piece of junk and it's not reliable and whatever, well, you can just about walk home if you're halfway in good health.
Sure.
Okay, not a problem. And if it's a small one and the seat's not very comfortable, who cares? 10 minutes you are, 15 minutes.
It gets you to the store and back.
Right, and you don't have to sit in a bad seat for a long time, whatever.
Yeah.
Now, on the other hand, compare the guy that needs to go to long distance, goes to Albuquerque twice, goes to Phoenix even, has to have the car, can't fly for whatever reason, need to bring something with him.
More of an office than a transportation
whatever,
thing.
Yeah. You don't want that car that you have in town, you want something reliable, and when you get out of it, when you arrive in Dallas, you don't go like, oh, God, you know what I mean? So good and good is, two different things.
It's about perspective, yeah.
Right.
And computers, obviously, that's what, and that's kind of what you're saying is look, if you're just trying to do X with this computer, then just make it to do X. Don't give it all the.
What most people do with the computer these days is, I don't know, 5% of what it can do, maybe.
Sure.
Power-wise, whatever, The biggest thing still is if you have an old drive in it, it takes forever to get the thing started. That's really, well, we just talked about it. You keep using your machine after you put the solid-state drive in it.
Just like you, as you get older, it takes a little longer to get things done sometimes.
Yeah. But, if you, that's the biggest aggravation. We have people that want to buy a new one.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, you got a good machine here. I can make that where you like it. And you put that drive in it. Well, your experience the same way.
Exactly,
you say, well, that old thing you bought in with the new hard drive in it. You say, that's faster than mine, and mine is $1,800 worth.
Yeah.
Well, we put the drive in it, and you go, oh, now it's good.
Makes no difference.
That's,
Yeah, if you're that person that turns on your computer and then goes away and gets a cup of coffee and gets dressed or gets in the shower and then comes back.
Kind of if you compare it to that old car that you drive in town, but it only goes 8 miles an hour.
Right, exactly.
And you can say, well, we can make this thing go 50 miles an hour.
Yeah.
So something like that's what's happening.
Yeah,
I think.
it really does make a difference. And so if you're experiencing that and you're like, it's just slow, talk to John. Maybe we can put a solid state drive in, couple $100.
Yeah, there's still several out there that can be upgraded. I think for about 2 years now is when machines started coming out mostly with solid state in it. That's been about 2 years now.
Okay.
And so the issue is slowly going away. Every once in a while, a brand new one comes in that still have a spinning drive in it, but almost
it's just obsolete technology.
Finally it's going by the wayside.
It's kind of like carburetors versus fuel injection. It's just going. You're finding less and less models with carburetors.
See, some things going forward are very good.
Yeah.
And some things it's like just for the sake of making it different.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. Yeah, because there's some, but then again, we're also looking at an evolutionary process, and so
if you're in the middle of it, it looks sometimes nasty and ugly and why and whatever.
Exactly, but to get there, you had to get to this.
10 years later, you look back, oh, this is a good thing.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure we're going to look back at it with a Microsoft account if that pans out as it all goes, what it looks like. In another 5 years, we go, well, your machine crashed and your stuff was gone? What is up with that? Microsoft has it. And, but not yet.
Yeah.
You have to have that Microsoft account.
Sure. Well, I mean, just look at the advancements they've made since the internet age. I mean, think about, for some folks, depending on your age, when in the dawn of mass consumption of internet, you don't even access or get on or do the things on the internet the same way you did 20 years ago when you got internet. And so that's kind of the point we're making is to get where we're at now, we had to go through some turds to get there. And we're also experiencing that now probably with Microsoft and some of these software. It's as we transition to this, less keyboard and mouse and more button pushing or virtual pushing, there's gonna be some evolutionary bumps in the road.
Right. And then some things, you throw it at the wall, and if it sticks, you keep it type of deal,
Yeah.
Many things don't make it.
Yeah, exactly. But you're like, I don't care. I'm just trying to get my taxes done. If that's the case, that's when you just give John a call or come on by, and John will get the nuts and bolts.
If you can't figure it out, and if it don't work, we'll make it work.
And if you want to talk philosophy of computer with him, he'll be happy to as long as he doesn't have customers waiting.
Right.
As far as types of repairs and stuff, Al, is it more still a lot of the just keeping things alive right now and that kind of stuff? Or
the biggest problem seems to be the person using the machine.
Gotcha.
Unfortunately, once you realize that, you do much better. Once you realize that you don't understand whatever, but you can't use it. You can't drive on the road if you don't know if red means stop and green means go and which side of the road. Let me take the middle because I'm safe. Either way.
Makes sense to me.
No, you need some rules you need to go by, and some things get done certain ways.
Sure.
And on a computer, everybody can do whatever they want. And they're much more complicated than it looks like. That's part of the problem.
Yeah.
If you just push a couple of buttons and then you go on the internet, whatever. But if you don't understand that a website is not on your computer, the website says you're infected, call this number.
Yeah.
There's nothing. That's crap.
Yeah.
You throw that just away. But people fall for it left and right all the time.
Well, that's just it. We have enough information on a computer to be dangerous. To use it to navigate the little few things we're trying to do.
It's like everything else. If you don't understand it or don't, you can use it to a certain extent.
Yeah.
Just because you can drive a car don't mean you can fix it.
Right.
If you start fixing it when you don't know anything about it, it probably don't come out real good.
But the problem is, your car's not giving you fake dummy lights. It's not saying, hey, you should...
It brings us to a whole different deal, If,
and that's where you got to be a little savvy.
If a car causes problems and it's because of a manufacturing defect or whatever the reason, it's not your fault, it's from the car is defective. Manufacturers get pulled on the carpet, they get sued, they get in problem.
Mm-hmm.
In software, that thing you sign always on, I agree, because otherwise you can't get it installed.
Right.
It says literally in there, we're not liable for anything goes wrong on your end, even if it's our fault.
Yeah, they wipe their hands clean of all that.
Right,
We just sign
that
away on that.
can't be right. That's too easy. You got to be at least pulled on the carpet. Got to have some pain if it don't work right, so you don't keep putting stuff out that don't work right.
And that's probably where the role of a government should get in and say something.
Yeah, government is a big thing. I'm looking at government. It's us. Us is the government.
Yeah.
So us need to speak up what we want, and there's too much regulation on one end and not enough on the other end.
Sure.
Yeah,
exactly.
Look at train derailments and banks and whatever. If a little more oversight, a little bit more rules in place, may be a good thing.
Oversight's a good thing. It's just how much and where you place it, and that's the trick. That's the rub.
Well, for some things, it gets so stupid.
Exactly.
And then, do you agree with it? The whole thing going on in the world, one group against the other group, religion against non-religion.
Oh, yeah.
What is right, what is wrong? Well, if you don't believe in the particular religion, but the rules don't make any sense. Whether it's right or wrong is not what I want to discuss. It's just,
Exactly. But I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
It's one of those things that we got 20 people in 20 different areas coming from 20 different angles,
right.
and the computers are no different.
And then, one good piece of advice is you didn't make the software in the computer. You don't know how to make it. You don't know how to really manipulate it, but just use it like the car driving it down the street, and that's all you know how to do with it, whatever. Then don't complain that they make something, it doesn't work quite right. Work with it, Sometimes you just got to do a little different from what you like to do to make it all work. If you complain about it and fight it, it's not going to work at all.
Yeah, it'll just make you mad, and it still won't work right.
Right. Of course, there's this part of the country, people like to take that thing that's not working because of their own fault and shoot it.
We got lots of beautiful open areas to bury and attack these.
People like to do that. I hear it a lot. Shoot the darn thing.
Well, good news is that keeps they'll come back to you to get a new one until they shoot that one.
Come over here. I've had one. The guy wanted to shoot it because he wasn't working. He had a lot of trouble with it. We think we're getting it straightened out, but he wants to shoot it. It goes back to manufacturer for repair. Still in the warranty.
Okay.
And this one, when it comes back, I'm going to shoot it. I thought, well, that's fine, but, you still owe me money. Now, I've sold you a new one because you needed one, and you can't wait that long. But the one that comes back, I can use that and sell that, for a used machine.
Yeah.
So,
but don't shoot it.
Well, you can, but then you owe me $400 for repair all the time I got in it. Or I can sell the thing when it comes back, and let's call it even on that one. You bought a new one. And he said, well, I think I still want to shoot it. The wife was with him, and he said, no. Let's keep the $400, okay?
Right, we can go get another computer that's beat up.
Shoot something else.
Yeah.
I thought it was kind of funny.
It is funny. Yeah. Well, that's when practicality came and saved the day.
Yep.
Just saw the time, and John's probably got to start heading to the office to help folks out here, so we probably should get him going. But
about that time.
But if you are in need of any kind of computer services, whether you're shopping for new or repairing old or upgrading whatever, and as John mentioned at the beginning of this conversation, now's the perfect time to come see him.
Now's a good time to bring it in because I'm waiting for people to help them because I'm sitting there, but everything is pretty much caught up.
Bring us your broken, you're tired, and you're sad, and let John
we'll fix it. We'll work it out.
Absolutely. Come on by Oasis Computers, right behind the Wool Bowl. He serves AM hours, so he'll get underway here about 8 a.m. here in just a few minutes, and until about noon.
8 till 12, Monday through Friday, and then I try to leave no later than about 12:30, so there's half an hour to handle what comes in right at 12.
Yeah.
And then in the afternoon, especially lately with it being quiet, definitely give me a call. I might bring you in by special appointment because, I'm cleaning up old stuff and I'm fixing some old stuff and whatever.
So you're just kind of doing some housekeeping stuff right now.
Yeah, whatever needs to be done too, but it's a good time to get your computer fixed in a quick, reasonable time.
Absolutely.
But it's same all the time. The one day everybody comes in all at once. It's just how it works.
Feast or famine sometimes.
Right. But right now it's good to bring it in.
Good deal. So come on down. Yep. He'll be heading that way here in just a few minutes, ready to triage your problems. And then, of course, even if you got networking stuff or house calls, that's what he does in the afternoons. Give him a call. He'll be happy.
That's what the afternoon is for.
Yeah, he'll be happy to make sure that take care of it.
Need to be.
Yeah. Give out the phone number.
575-625-9141.
And the actual address for
1703 North Garden Avenue, next to the railroad tracks behind the Wool Bowl Stadium.
Right, can't miss it. Come on by and say hi.
Yep.
And
don't go to Atkinson.
Yes. If you do, you might see me there looking for Oasis Computers. Thanks, John, as always. We'll appreciate the visit, and hopefully time change will be kinder to you next time, and hopefully we're talking about some good things.
It hasn't yet. It's the same every year. I hate it. But anyway.
And this is the worst one, too. I hate losing the hour. I don't mind gaining an hour. I hate losing the hour. But
there you go.
When you say, wait a minute, I could have gone back to bed for another hour. Thank you. I'll take it. But anyway. Thank you, John. We'll see you next time.
All right. Very good.
All right. It is 7:52. Let's pause.
Now for your Pecos Valley News Update, I'm Jared Sorello. A developing story out of Carlsbad today where a man is now jailed for shooting and killing a teenager. 21-year-old Eric Garcia was arrested in the 800 block of Waco Street. Police have not described how the man might know the boy or if he's related. Garcia is being held at the Eddy County Jail with no bond. Anyone with information about the ordeal is being urged to call 885-2111. Construction continues on a project to rebuild about 10 miles of US 285 at Malaga. Crews currently in the second phase of a project to rebuild the entire roadway, extend and replace concrete box culverts to improve drainage, and rehab the existing bridge over the salt draw. The phase is expected to last the next couple of weeks and will cause traffic to be shifted to the northbound lanes at the southern end of the project and the southbound lanes at the northern end. Only one lane of traffic open in each direction for the next several weeks. You're up to date. I'm Jared Sorello reporting.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Pretty windy today, gusts of 35 to 40 miles an hour as cold front moves across our area. We should have sunshine, though, and our high in the mid-70s. Upper 30s overnight, still windy and clear skies, and then lots of sun coming up for Saturday. Still breezy, but not as windy. Our high should be in the mid-70s. Clear for Saturday night, we're back to the mid-80s and sunny on Sunday. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
With the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Bill Alexander. Stocks rose Thursday as a bit more fear evaporated from Wall Street. Wells Fargo will pay fines of about $97.8 million for inadequate oversight of its compliance risk, enabling the apparent violation of U.S. sanctions against Iran, Syria, and Sudan. That's according to federal authorities. The Federal Reserve and the Treasury Department's Office of Foreign Assets Control said the bank's deficient oversight enabled it to violate U.S. sanctions by providing a trade finance platform to a foreign bank that used it to process $532 million in prohibited transactions. 3 Federal Reserve officials kept the door open on Thursday to more rate rises aimed at lowering high levels of inflation, with 2 noting banking sector problems could generate enough headwinds on the economy to help cool price pressures faster than expected. For the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Bill Alexander in Washington.
Artesia Car Enthusiast, Artesia Chamber of Commerce, and Artesia Main Street bring you the 24th Annual Main Event Car Show and Cruise 2023. Last year's record number of cars of all ages and sizes is sure to be beaten as we have expanded areas for vehicle display, added more food vendors, tractor row, and even a bike boulevard all downtown. We kick things off Friday, March 31st at 6 p.m. for the Main Street Cruise from Bulldog Bowl to 2nd Street and back. Join us Saturday, April 1st from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. as Artesia transforms into one of the hottest spots for car enthusiasts, residents, and visitors. Please come together to enjoy a weekend filled with music, cruising, friendly competition, and lots of fun for the whole family. Spectators are always free. For more information or to register your car, go to artesiachamber.com or stop by the office at 107 North 1st Street in Artesia. The Main Event Car Show and Cruise, Friday, March 31st and Saturday, April 1st in downtown Artesia. Paid for by Artesia Lodgers Tax.
Time for some facts. Xena Security Services, LLC is 100% locally owned and operated. You may have heard rumors that Xena Security was purchased by another company. Rest assured, these claims are absolutely false. Xena Security has been and will continue to be a trusted, locally owned and operated company dedicated to providing our customers the security and monitoring solutions they need for their home or business. Don't believe these rumors. Be secure in your security with locally owned and operated Xena Security. Call 575-626-3521 or stop by 218 West 1st in Roswell. Xena Security Services, LLC, locally owned and there when you need it most.
To plant or not to plant? That is the question. Hi, this is Jim Gill from Roswell Seed Company. Our tomato plants and pepper plants are ready to go. If you plant them now, you might have homegrown tomatoes and peppers before anyone else, or the frost might kill it. As Clint Eastwood would say, do you feel lucky? You'll either be the smartest gardener in the county or you'll get to replant them all over again. I say go for it. You'll get more practice and we'll get more business. This is Jim Gill from Roswell Seed Company, and I apologize to William Shakespeare.
At Artesia General Hospital, we want to help you feel better faster. And when prescribed by your provider, IV therapy can be one of the quickest ways to help you feel well again. Our infusion center services include antibiotic or allergen therapies, blood transfusions, and medication infusions for chronic conditions like Crohn's disease and osteoporosis. Whether you choose care at the clinic or hospital, you can expect a highly skilled staff and a private, safe setting with your comfort in mind. Referrals and appointments are required. Learn more at artesiageneral.com/infusion.
They're watching you. They see your social media posts. They follow your family, your friends, and your interests online because they're planning on taking your money. All of it. They're con artists. They'll use your social information to build your trust and lure you into once-in-a-lifetime investments with promises of high guaranteed returns. But it can be avoided. The Securities Division of New Mexico's Regulation and Licensing Department can help. Learn to spot the red flags of investment scams at rld.nm.gov/red flags or call 505-476-4580.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. Astronauts are not allowed to eat beans before they go into space because passing wind in a spacesuit damages them. The suits or the astronauts. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 8:57. Stay tuned next hour, about 9:15 or so. We're going to play our interview we had yesterday. We had Don Weld with Friends of Bitter Lake Wildlife Refuge and Carl Jacobson with Bitter Lake Wildlife Refuge join us. Gave us an update on what's happening there, talking about a butterfly event they've got going on tomorrow out at the refuge, and then an Earth Day event happening later on in April on the 22nd. So we talked about that. So we'll play that for you next hour. Hey, for high school seniors and college students that were going to or have applied for the Historical Society for Southeast New Mexico scholarships, The deadline has been extended 1 week. Today was supposed to be the deadline, but they've extended it 1 week till April 7th. So if you're a high school senior, go and look for the Historical Society for Southeast Mexico's Facebook page or go to roswellnmhistory.org. You'll find the link to the application. They're offering thanks to the Hayes family, it's a $1,250 humanities and art scholarship. A high school senior will get that. They're giving 2 STEM scholarships, $1,250 each to high school seniors. Character scholarship, 2 $1,250 scholarships there to high school seniors. And new this year, a continuing education scholarship for college students. 1 student will be awarded $1,250 as well. Again, the deadline's been extended 1 week to April 7th. So go get your applications. Again, look for the Historical Society for Southeast Mexico. Like and follow it on Facebook, and you'll find the application there. Go to roswellnmhistory.org to get an application. Or if you have any questions or want more information, call Amy at 575-622-8333. Again, 575-622-8333, or shoot an email to historydirector@outlook.com. History Director, all one word, at the little @ or at symbol, and then outlook.com. And you'll find it there. So,
do we have time?
We got less than a minute.
Okay. I just wanted to say I checked out that Roswell Freedom Talk Facebook page.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
What'd you think?
It seems like, Janine Besta wants
yeah, it's her page. She started it.
Wants to, I think it's mostly just to help out the town. Like,
I think so. It was all, like I said, it's all good intentions, but a bunch of nudniks get on there and just
a lot of hecklers.
Yeah, it's just a bunch. They got little hidden profiles, and they take their little pot shots, and they think they're so important, and they're just a bunch of losers. That's all they are. And unfortunately, those people have muddied that page up a little bit. So
it's weird.
But yes, it was started with good, and there is some good stuff in there, in between the ramblings of,
because there is a lot of good stuff on there,
so,
but a lot of hecklers too.
You just got to weed through the idiocy. All right, it's 9 o'clock. You're listening 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM, KEND, or Roswell, New Mexico. We'll be back.
News this hour from townhall.com. I'm Rich Thomason. Former President Trump calls his indictment by a New York grand jury political persecution and election interference at the highest level in history. The indictment just happens to come as Mr. Trump seeks re-election.
The unprecedented legal action means that Donald Trump is the first former U.S. president to face criminal charges. Despite the charges, he is not prevented from running for another term in the White House. Trump has denied any wrongdoing, has repeatedly assailed the investigation, and calls the indictment political persecution. The former president is expected to surrender early next week in New York, where he would be photographed and fingerprinted. Greg Clugston reporting.
Trump attorney Joe Tacopina says you'd better believe the Trump legal team will fight the charges.
You don't bring a case like this against a former president on a petty allegation, on a completely legal civil transaction with attorneys, unless you have the goods, unless you have something substantial.
Tacopina speaking with the Fox News Channel's Hannity, calling the DA's case against Mr. Trump un-American. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis says he will not cooperate with any extradition request. The president of Belarus, an ally of Russia's Vladimir Putin, says Russian strategic nuclear weapons might be deployed in his country, along with part of Russia's tactical nuclear arsenal. The federal government filing suit against Norfolk Southern over environmental damage caused by the East Palestine, Ohio train derailment. It spilled toxic chemicals into nearby creeks and rivers and polluted the air. There is a weather heads up for people across parts of the Midwest and the South. The National Weather Service warning of possible severe weather later in the day. On Wall Street, the Dow is up 177 points and NASDAQ ahead 99. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Everybody wants cheap airfare, but where do you find it? You call low-cost airlines. Their prices are direct from the airlines, and they're so low you can't find these fares published anywhere. They specialize in cheap flights, discount hotel rooms, cheap car rental rates, and great package deals anywhere around the world. Wherever you want to go, they can help you get there cheaply and with a best price guarantee. If you want the lowest prices on your airline tickets or other travel services, call now. That's right, call. That's the only way to get these rates. Experts are standing by 24/7 to get you the cheapest airfare and hotel rates available. So don't wait. Call right now for the lowest travel prices anywhere and for great last-minute travel deals too.
Call 866-755-5300. That's 866-755-5300. Again, that's 866-755-5300. Call us right now.
And to North Korea for weapons. You fight the war in Ukraine.
It's the latest accusation that Moscow, desperate for weaponry and restricted by sanctions and export controls, is turning to rogue nations to help its war in Ukraine. White House National Security Council spokesman John Kirby says as part of a proposed deal, Russia would receive over 24 kinds of weapons and munitions from Pyongyang. The deal would provide the North with needed food and other commodities in return. Experts believe the food situation in North Korea is the worst it has been under Kim Jong-un's 11-year rule, but they still say they see no signs of imminent famine or mass deaths. I'm Charles de Ledesma.
A record cocaine bust in Norway, more than 1,700 pounds of the drug found in boxes of fruit in Oslo. News and analysis at townhall.com. Change is in the air in some of America's biggest counties.
Several large urban counties across the United States gained residents or stemmed population declines in the year ending last July. That's after losing residents in the previous 12-month period amid the COVID-19 pandemic. Population estimates were released Thursday by the U.S. Census Bureau. Population change is driven by migration as people move around inside the country or arrive from abroad. It also depends on whether births outpace deaths or vice versa. But not every urban center was on the upswing. Los Angeles is the most populous county in the U.S., and it led the nation in population loss last year, declining by 90,000 residents. Keith Peters reporting.
Richard Branson's Virgin Orbit is letting go of almost its entire workforce. The California-based company will cut 675 jobs. That's about 85% of the workforce. More on these stories, townhall.com.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man on this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The devil which said, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican world radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 6 minutes after 9 o'clock. Welcome to hour number 3.
Crazy Mirnos.
Mornings with Mike Winters right here on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM. Happy Friday.
Yeah, that wind is a whipping already.
It is a breezy. It's not supposed to be as breezy today, but we do have a red flag warning and a high wind warning, so I guess there's a reason for it.
Yeah.
But happy Friday, nonetheless.
Welcome to it.
I think it'll be less windy this weekend, the way I'm reading.
It's supposed to be, yeah.
Like 10 to 15 mile an hour range, which is light for us.
Yeah.
Kite flying weather.
Exactly. Dude.
You hear more about kites the last time?
No, I saw one yesterday.
Oh, did you? Maybe I inspired somebody.
Not in air. I saw one on ground. It was weird. So I was like, pull back a friend of mine is moving into her new place this weekend. So I was, helping her out. I was parking my car and I see this while it's, the wind is whipping outside. There's trash cans everywhere, all over the roads. This kite is staying on the ground I'm like, what? So it was just a kite. So I got a little closer and looked. It was on this string, was like tangled up on this tree branch. So I'm guessing it was a kite that was stuck in a tree, and the branch snapped off, and that's what was on the ground. The branch was caught in the sewer duct or whatever. So yeah, it was basically a kite flying itself.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So someone had a kite flying adventure that went awry, apparently.
Yeah. Because they decided to try to fly a kite yesterday.
Well, maybe they did, and it didn't work out. So, but
they got up, and they definitely got it up. It just did, what it did after that.
You think it's like a small child that's in like Texas? I let go about halfway to Lubbock. And
I didn't know what to do when I was airborne. Next thing I knew, I was somewhere up over the Bank of America building.
I found a kite, but where's the child? Man, I might have to go procure one of those kites and go out one day and just do it because I haven't done it in 100 years.
I feel like it'd be one of those fun things to do with the kids. Like it's like an
I don't
old
have any of
school
those,
thing.
so I just got to do it myself.
Yeah, well, go do it with other people's kids.
Can I borrow your kids for the weekend? I'm going to go.
Exactly.
Fly
Kids, you
want to
fly kites? Just run out and be like, "Hey, kids, I just found this kite. You want to fly with me?"
I'd like to borrow your children to fly kites in the park this weekend.
Okay, well, here's the move. Okay, rent yourself a windowless GMC van.
Oh yeah, that'll help the cause.
Red spray paint. It has to be red Krylon spray paint on the side. Just write kites and fun times, and then just take that around to the parks and see what happens.
And then I will have Metallica's Master of Puppets blaring out.
Love it. There you go.
Just like old school.
It gets flagged.
Oh man. But yeah. I'll let you know how that adventure works out.
Yeah. Turns out I actually had to register and had to go knock on some doors in my neighborhood.
Needless to say, the sheriff's office visited me.
It's like, what do you have in there, sir? Kites.
Kites.
It says it right there.
I love kites.
That weirdly reminded me of, do you remember there was a 2-year period here in Roswell? And I don't know if it was because there was like a boom in massage school graduates, but there for a quick minute, there were like 5 massage places in town that opened up that had almost the same red spray paint sign that just said massage. I'm like, that's, you know what, I am feeling a little achy. Let's go to that place. I feel like that's where I need to be.
Who's your masseuse? Oh, Freddy Krueger. He's excellent.
Not sure, but the sign, you can't miss it. It just says massage. Why are you saying it like that? Trust me, when you see the sign, you'll understand.
Oh, he's good. He wears a hockey mask when he does it, but he's really good.
He works under an anonymity mostly.
Yeah, you know.
He operates at his best if you don't know what's happening.
It's very dark.
Usually the sound of a chainsaw swinging in the background. It's fine.
It kind of smells like a meat packing plant. But man, it's a good massage.
Boy, it worked out all of them kinks.
Yeah. All right, let me give you what's going on this hour.
Yes.
The complete opposite of what we just did. We're gonna actually, before I do any of that, big thank you to McDonald's. Swing on by, got you covered. I know maybe at this point you might still be thinking about an Egg McMuffin, but hold out for another hour if you're like, I don't have time for breakfast. Come back about an hour and a half or so and get you a Big Mac or a quarter pounder with cheese or the crispy chicken. Those look. I had one the other day. I hadn't had one in a while. Something about a sandwich in a bag just tastes better to me. I don't know why.
Yeah, there really is something about a sandwich in a bag.
It tastes better to me. It tastes more like it was made for me or something. I don't know. It's weird, but it makes me happy when I see the chicken sandwich in a bag. It just does. So I'm a simple man, but it makes me happy.
They're calling their new chicken sandwich the McCrispy now.
Yeah, the McCrispy.
It is exactly as advertised.
Yeah, it's good. It's tasty. I like it.
Get you one of them spicy ones with that special sauce.
My problem is I always like my chicken in nugget form, so I usually just go for nugs when I get chicken. But I did get one about a week or two ago, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. I was like, ooh, sandwich in a bag.
I like it.
Like it a lot. Yeah.
Get fancy with lettuce and tomatoes.
And to be honest, I do get fish a lot.
Oh,
even outside of Lenten season and Easter season, all I still like the fish.
Well, I know as a good Catholic man.
Right. Although I've noticed this year on the app, I've not seen the double fillet.
Really?
Like I've been looking every day in the sandwich part and just the single. They got the 2 single fishes for $5 or $6, wherever it is.
But they're not rocking the double.
Double fillet was not on the app anymore, and I'm like,
maybe they feel like that's too dangerous.
Oh,
maybe they feel like that's you're playing with fire at that point.
I will ride that dragon, and I've ridden that dragon.
2 fish patties at that point, Mike, you're playing with fire.
I'm those white hair people in Game of Thrones when it comes to that double fillet of fish. I can ride it.
I will ride this thing to victory.
I don't remember what they're called, but the long white hair look like vampires.
If you're getting a double fillet, do you actually get a full slice of cheese? Because with a regular fillet, you get a half slice.
Oh, do you?
Yeah. You ever notice that? Yeah. Pull it next time you get a fillet.
I've never noticed. I assume I get a whole piece.
Pull up your fillet, you get a half slice. Check your double fillet next time. See if they give you a full slice.
All right. It's been a while since I got one because it wasn't on the menu.
Because I feel you're right, but I feel like you can make it happen. You can make your own menu.
Oh, I could.
It's available through the app.
I know. I'm a point and click guy. I don't want I don't customize a lot. I'm just like, give me that, give me that, give me that.
Oh, see, I'm a man who likes some extra pickles, so
I pull tomatoes off things. That's the one thing I customize. I don't like tomatoes on any sandwiches, so I take them off.
You tomato haters, I will never understand you. I know. I've known several out there. It's like it's not that offensive of an ingredient, but people are
like it.
so vehemently against tomatoes.
I just don't like them on my sandwich. To me, it tastes revolting. I've tried.
Mm-hmm.
Like one time years ago, I went to a Checkers.
Okay.
Y'all know Checkers?
Yeah, Rally's Checkers, yeah.
Yeah. Rally's, there was Rally.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like maybe early 20s.
Okay. We all make mistakes.
Yeah. And I went to a Checkers drive-thru, and I ordered Checkers, and I asked for a Checkers burger.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, I want everything but, I think, tomatoes and pickles. And all I got was a burger with nothing but tomatoes and pickles on it. So I said, well, I'm starving. So I said, well, let me try it. Maybe I'm being a prude. And I bit the burger, and I was like, nope, there's a reason why I don't like it. And I was revolted by it, and I've never tried to put a tomato back on a thing ever since.
Only instead of minus.
Yeah, they were like, hey, this guy wants all the tomatoes and pickles.
Well, granted, this was also in the 90s, so they could have been with a piece of paper and a pencil back then, for all I know, taking orders,
Right. Way back in the 1900s.
Yeah. Well,
you don't like tomatoes on your sandwiches?
Mm-mm. I like ketchup. I don't mind cooked tomatoes in like soup or like a stew or chili. I'm fine with that, but a raw tomato.
Is it a consistency thing?
It's a smell. I don't like the smell.
Yeah, I'm the opposite. Where I only like that's the only way I can eat tomatoes.
Yeah, see,
not a burger or a sandwich.
and my wife, same way. She don't like tomatoes, or my sister-in-law, or my brother-in-law.
Now, let me ask you this: have you ever had a tomato sandwich?
No.
As in tomato being the main ingredient?
No.
Because that's
a real thing.
Yeah, of course.
I've even tried fried green tomatoes.
It's a southern thing. It's mayo and usually some salted tomato, and it's delightful.
I just don't like the taste of a raw tomato.
No, just regular.
Like
fancy sun-dried tomatoes.
Like I was at I was at like a fair thing, and my wife was like, get fried green tomatoes. I don't like tomatoes, but I like fried green tomatoes. So we got an order of them. I had one. I was like, ooh, gross. I don't want them.
All right.
So I just don't like the taste of raw tomato. It's the juice. It's the smell. It's the consistency. All of it about it repulses me.
That makes sense.
Just,
and that's all I can ask. If you can present a cogent argument as to why you don't like a thing, then go for it.
I have tried. Generally, when I say I don't like something, I've tried it 3 or 4 times. Just like coffee, I literally tried to force myself to do it. Couldn't do it, and so I was like, I give up. But those tomato and coffee, I've tried multiple times to say, I'm going to give it a go.
So I feel like tomato coffee is your next logical progressive step.
Someone said, tomato coffee flavored ice cream, Mike. Here's your favorite. I'm like, woo, boy, dive right in.
Where's my spoon?
Me personally, I like the fact that the tomato and on the burger, because the tomato's acidity cuts the grease of the burger. So it's like you get the best of both worlds kind of thing.
Okay. So I never put that much thought into it. I just like it's
to get wet and dry at the same time.
It's a good bite.
Well, I think I achieved that with the onion and the lettuce and the pickle and whatever.
You achieve your own nirvana.
See, I don't like putting avocado on a burger either. I think that's revolt. I think avocado other than guacamole to me is kind of the.
That might be
That's a consistency thing. I like the taste of avocado, but when you put that on a sandwich, it tastes like some weird, goofy mud spread that I just don't like. It's a consistency.
It might be a 21st century thing.
It's a consistency thing. I just that velvety smoothness of an avocado does not belong on certain sandwiches to me.
Sure, it definitely isn't one of those.
Plus, it makes it messy.
Things.
It makes it
really
kind of messy, and I'm like, it's too not palatable. But man, you mash it up, I'll eat it with chips all day long. Love it, or spread it on a taco or something.
How do you feel about cilantro?
Not a fan.
Really? See, and that's the thing is most people are like, does it taste like soap to you, or?
I don't mind a little bit.
Okay.
But a lot of times they overdo it, and that's all I taste. And that's the problem with cilantro is usually when I get it, it's overdone.
That's not a problem to me.
And I've had like steak burritos, and all I taste is cilantro. And
If I get a good street taco, all you should be able to taste is like a little bit of the meat, but mostly cilantro and onions.
Yeah.
It's a good street taco.
To me, I can handle a little bit of cilantro, but usually I don't like ginger either. I won't mess with anything ginger.
I think what we're trying to say is you get full customization at McDonald's.
Yeah. 3
locations in Roswell, 1 in Carlsbad, 1 in Artesia.
But if you offer me a ginger avocado tomato,
I was going to say I want to cook specifically a tomato and avocado and pickle burger.
I do like
just for
pickles.
Mike to change his mind.
I don't know why I didn't get pickles that day. I do like pickles on a burger. I put pickles on everything. You know?
Right.
Even burgers or sandwiches that probably shouldn't have a pickle on it, I'll throw pickle on there anyway. I don't care.
Peanut butter.
Right.
What the heck?
PB&J, pickle it up. Especially the bread and butter. Like, it's bread and butter. And since my grandmother buttered all my bread sandwiches, I'm used to that.
But you don't have to worry about no ginger, no cilantro. None of that stuff's available at McDonald's because they keep it simple. They know what you want. They keep it fast and they keep it delicious.
At least for now, till they come up with a new item that might require like an Asian thing for some ginger or something. But at the moment, you're good to go.
Simplicity.
But I was like, I'll eat anything. And then I start talking. I'm like, I guess I really don't.
I
I'm
won't
like,
eat
I don't
much
like
of
ginger. I don't like this, I don't like that. But I really do like a lot of things. Just when it comes to fruits and certain spices, don't hit me.
He's like, I'll eat anything. What he means is meats and like 1 or 2 types of fruits.
Yeah, I'll eat a lot of vegetables.
Sure.
I eat all the 5 food groups.
I'm pretty much will eat almost any vegetable. There's probably 1 or 2 I won't.
I'm like a 65-year-old man. I love turnip greens. It's like one of my favorite
I'm good with those.
Veggies.
I'm good with turnips, good with greens. I grew up in the DC area, a lot of soul food, had a lot of collard greens, and I grew up on that stuff. So I like it a lot. But but
I'll make you a believer.
But then again, I'll eat things like liver. See, people won't mess with liver. I'll eat liver. I don't like liver that much. I mean, I will never say, go for some liver. But if that's what there is to eat, I'll eat it.
A liver.
So you've never ordered it off the menu?
No, my wife has.
I have.
Multiple times.
And I found a place here in town that is delightful.
Back when Furr's Cafeteria was open, almost exclusive, every time we went there, my wife would get liver.
And I miss Furr's.
It is not a bad eat. I'm a huge fan of liver and onions.
I will tolerate it.
I have to be in a mood for it, granted, but it is.
To me, it looks and smells better than it tastes. Like I see it cooking, and especially they put that kind of breading on
I think it looks wonky, but then once you get it, it's more palatable from this side of things.
Yeah. To me, it's got a consistency that I'm not a huge fan of. There's a consistency in the meat that's got it's a little. I'd say livery, but that doesn't really help you any.
Sum it up, doesn't it? But you can really tell you're eating an organ.
Yeah. It's just it doesn't, Whereas others, but then again, I love the gizzards on chickens. I eat all that stuff. So I just have certain couple things that I really don't like, and tomatoes and ginger.
You just get weird with it in different places. That's all.
Yeah. All right, it's 9:20. Probably should get the interview going. Yeah. Anything else you want to know what I don't like about? Here's your weather.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Pretty windy today, gusts of 35 to 40 miles an hour as cold front moves across our area. We should have sunshine, though, and our high in the mid-70s. Upper 30s overnight, still windy and clear skies, and then lots of sun coming up for Saturday. Still breezy, but not as windy. Our high should be in the mid-70s. Clear for Saturday night, we're back to the mid-80s and sunny on Sunday. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
Thank you, Steve. Currently 54 degrees here in Roswell. Humidity is at 24%. Winds are already up. Out of the northwest, 20 gusting to 28 miles per hour. We do have a wind advisory in effect till 7 tonight and a red flag warning in effect until 6 p.m. this evening. Expect sunny skies today with a high of 72. Winds will be breezy out of the northwest, 20 to 25, gusting as high as 35 miles per hour. Tonight, mostly clear. Overnight low of 36 degrees, west winds 10 to 20 miles per hour. You'll see those winds drop down 5 to 10 after midnight tonight. Saturday, mostly sunny, high of 77, northwest winds 5 to 10 early, 15 to 20 for tomorrow afternoon. Tomorrow night, mostly clear, overnight low of 41 degrees, south winds 15 to 20, dropping down 5 to 10 after midnight. And then for Sunday, sunny skies and a high of 86, northwest winds 10 to 15. Monday, when you head back to work and school, mostly sunny skies, breezy, Expect the highs in the mid-80s, 86 on Monday. All right, it is 22 minutes after 9 o'clock. We're going to take a 2-minute commercial break. Then we're going to play our interview we had yesterday with the folks from Bitter Lake Wildlife Refuge. Don't go away.
Have you ever felt like your life was just a pile of rubble? Maybe you're there now. There are many stories throughout the Bible of God coming to people in the midst of the rubble of their lives and rescuing them out of it. God rescued his chosen people, the Israelites, out of the rubble of their own rebellion, both literally and figuratively, over and over again when they called out to him. Jesus often comes into contact with people at their worst and shows them love and grace. He even tells the parable of the prodigal son who leaves his family, taking his inheritance with him, basically turning his back on his father. The son throws his money away partying, but he knows in his heart that his father will take him back. As he attempts to beg for forgiveness and asks to be a slave, his father runs to him, accepts him with open arms, and has a celebration for his return. God offers each and every one of us the same thing. He offers us freedom from the slavery of our sin and from the rubble of our life. No matter what mess you find yourself in, God can rescue you.
Join us at the Country Club Road Church of Christ for worship at 10 a.m. on Sunday, located on the corner of Country Club and Washington in Roswell.
Great deals and no fooling. The vehicle clearance and double your tax refund event is on now through Saturday at Roswell Honda, with a lot chock full of great vehicles priced to motor and double your tax refund up to $2,000, plus no payments for 90 days and vehicles as low as $200 a month. Then come out for the family fun this Saturday from 10 to 1 with Jolly Jumps, hot dogs and drinks, and your chance to win the Roswell Honda mystery bag of cash. Drawing at 1 p.m. Must be present to win. Clear the lot and double up now through Saturday at Roswell Honda, 2177 West 2nd.
They're watching you. They see your social media posts. They follow your family, your friends, and your interests online because they're planning on taking your money. All of it. They're con artists. They'll use your social information to build your trust and lure you into once-in-a-lifetime investments with promises of high guaranteed returns. But it can be avoided. The Securities Division of New Mexico's Regulation and Licensing Department can help. Learn to spot the red flags of investment scams at rld.nm.gov/red flags or call 505-476-4580.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. China has more English speakers than the United States. They have more Chinese speakers, too. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 21 minutes after 8 o'clock, and joining us in studio this morning, from Friends of Bitter Lake, Don Weld here, and then actually, his day job's at Bitter Lake Wildlife Refuge, Carl Jacobson. Good morning, guys. How y'all doing?
Doing good. Thanks, Mike.
Thanks for coming. Thanks for having us. And for folks that are new to the area, are not familiar, Bitter Lake Wildlife Refuge is our little oasis just outside of town. Of course, we have bottomless lakes out there, and then we have bitter lakes. Bottomless lakes, if you want to go and swim and boat and do all that stuff, that's where you go have that
recreational
fun. Bitter Lake, if you want to come out and hike and walk and see the scenic stuff and it's a wildlife reserve. It's the nature is the priority. You are not.
Yes.
You are a visitor.
That's right. That's a good way to put it.
Pretty much sum it up.
Yeah. We're in somebody else's home.
That's right. Yep. You come in and wipe your feet when you come in. Take your hat off.
Yeah.
I guess that would probably be a good, accurate, in a nutshell, description of the two different places.
Yeah, I think that's a good way to put it.
But it really is, in reality, in the big scope of things, and Don and I joke about this all the time, Bitter Lake Wildlife Refuge is actually nature's pilot flying J, is basically what it is. It's a rest area for all the migratory animals, birds, butterflies, everything that kind of comes through, and it is called home for some permanent wildlife and obviously plant life and things. But in essence, when the migratory animals go south for the winter and north for the summer, they stop here to gas up and stay the night and take care of the kids and do all the things just like you do when you travel. So
yeah, definitely, that's a good way to put it. Like especially for a lot of the migratory birds, like we, like the sandhill cranes, they come and go, and like earlier this year we had a record count over the last 35 years. We had 34,000 cranes this past October, but.
Is it somebody's job to count those?
Yeah, that's my
volunteer.
job.
That would be me. Carl, I go out on the weekends and count cranes.
That's
you get a little help from the volunteers.
Yeah, we get a lot of. We have some really good volunteers that help us.
You aren't sitting there going 342, 340. Oh, what number was I on? 342.
that'd be pretty impossible to do on my own. The whole refuge.
Yeah.
We had quite a few, and then this past week, like they're all gone. They're going back north now.
They're moving on to their I guess summer destination here.
Yeah, up in Alaska and Siberia is where they end up going.
Long.
Yeah, it's pretty
Just
amazing.
Ballpark curiosity. What's the average? For some of these cranes, what's a typical travel day? How many miles will they go in a day on average? Do you know?
I think they can go like up to like 100 miles or so.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, it is.
That's a lot in a day, consider. And by the way, they don't do it one and two. It's thousands of them moving at one time.
Yeah.
And we've talked a little bit about this, Don. When you see them in their formations and everything, that's all science, man. That's them navigating the wind stream and all the things that airplanes use when they fly. They use that formation to navigate and to mitigate through the Gulf streams and the various turbulence and stuff that happen.
It's pretty amazing. Yeah, they use like the heat to like spiral up and they get higher up in the air. It's pretty incredible.
It's fascinating to watch. So that's what a trip to Bitter Lake will do. Come and learn this stuff, hang out at the visitor center and read some of the stuff. Help out the friends here and buy a T-shirt or a book or something, and then, but definitely walk the trails and see some of this stuff, and of course, here in the fall will be the big events really happen. Dragonfly Festival, the crane watching when they come back as they're heading south. You come out and get out.
October.
Yeah, you get out early or late and get some cocoa and watch the cranes get settled in for the night or whatever, and watch that. But in the meantime, this is something that's about Bitter Lake is no matter what time of the year, it's like kind of a different, it's like right now you're seeing the spring into summer, so you're seeing, it's probably a little bit quieter as far as the migratory stuff, but this is the season for other animal life and certain plant life starts showing up and things. So just because it's not the dragonflies and cranes of the fall, it's a whole nother bunch of things happening out there right now. So
yeah.
So kind of what it's like. So someone say they want to go do a hike this weekend. What's kind of the hot season right now for things happening at Bitter Lake as far as things to look for?
Well, there's a lot of like wading birds that are coming in from. So they sort of come in the summertime and breed there in the summer, and so there's a lot of like snowy plovers coming in, which are really, really cool birds to watch. You bring your binoculars; they're pretty far out there.
So is Bitter Lake like their summer home? Like this is where they go as far north for the summer. Basically.
Yeah, exactly. So they come to breed in the summer, and they'll nest in like the mud flats and just like the areas where because we draw our wetlands down in the summertime, so that we expose some of the mud flats and.
That's where all the food is and all that.
Yeah, so you'll see the cute little birds running around and pecking at things, and starting to see some dragonflies come out. Not like the fall, but they're coming out. And
now, do the dragonflies kind of linger at Bitter Lake all the time, or are they migratory as well?
No, they're not migratory. They'll. So they say the adults will die off. The adults they're not. In their adult form for very long. Like only a few days to a few weeks they're in that flying form. Their larvae, their young, stay in the water the whole time. So they'll overwinter as larvae.
So they're kind of incubating or kind of like the baby in your mom's womb, kind of growing and maturing there.
Yeah, so they're all just hanging out in that form in the water, and then in the summertime they grow up into the adults, and then they'll metamorphose and start flying around.
Okay. So like as adults, like we talk about the monarch butterflies, and we've talked in those conversations, and really some of the roles of those monarchs are just to get the clan from point A to point B, and then they die off and the next generation takes over. Like for dragonflies, when they become adult, what's like their function? Is it just to make more? Is that kind of their... My priority is to make more dragonflies. That's that's what they're programmed to do. Basically.
That's essentially what they do, and they're there to breed. But they also do still feed and eat in the adult form, and they're actually really voracious predators. They can just snag things out of the air, like snag other insects out of the air. And,
so they're very good for insect control and kind of like spiders and things. People are like, I hate spiders, but like they're kind of friendly.
They have
towards
a biting fly out there,
and they're
and the dragonflies will grab
that's
those.
lunch for them.
Mosquitoes, they'll grab those.
Wow.
Yeah, in and out of the water, because they'll get the mosquito larvae when they're
So
a
they
larvae,
catch them young,
they attack
too.
the larvae.
Thank
too.
goodness for that, right?
Yeah, definitely. My friends out there doing field work. I don't want the mosquitoes and flies biting me, so it's good to have the dragonflies.
Yeah, your dragonfly's your buddy.
Yeah.
Keep one on your shoulder. They'll keep you from getting bit. But one thing we want to do, and of course, we want to invite folks to come out, walk the trails, be a part of it, but realize that wildlife refuge, you are a guest. Stay on the trails. Don't meander off the trails. Because I know you don't think it's a big deal, but you're upsetting plant life. You're upsetting ecosystems by doing that. If you stay on the trails, obviously yourself and your staff and the volunteers that come out each week and all the time, they're doing these projects to keep so that the plant life that's supposed to be there stays there. The plant life that's not supposed to be there doesn't stay there, and then provide that home for the animals, whether it's seasonally or 365. Right. That's their place. So when you come there, you're coming to just learn and explore and enjoy nature's beauty. I mean, that's like I said, if you want to go out and cook out and picnic and all that, go to Bottomless Lakes. But if you want to come and walk the trails, get your bottled water, get your hiking boots, your stick, and kind of walk around the waters and walk around the different paths and trails and see the different life. And then even a little human history. I mean, there's a lot of Native American history out there as part of Bitter Lake as well, too. When you're at the visitor center there, you can read up on some of the hunting grounds for natives and how they did all the buffalo hunting. So there's as much human history information as there is natural nature out there, too. So if you love that kind of stuff, I make a weekend out there. Go out there and come out this weekend, or if you got a day off during the day, if there's daylight, it's pretty much open. If it's not daylight, make sure you're on the other side of the gate before they close it. That's about it there,
Yeah.
Are there any events, any programs or anything we want to get on people's radar or maybe if they need a reason to come out and check it out? Here's a few.
Yeah, definitely. We have 2 events coming up in April. The first is just an event to kind of go over how to build a butterfly birthing center. So just how to raise butterflies.
Okay.
And that's
that's kind of fun. My wife is an elementary school teacher, and one of their little projects they do every year is they raise butterflies. And so she goes online and gets the little kit that's got the little thing and catches it. And then, of course, the kids are in the part of feeding. And then when they go from larvae to butterflies, they all go out and release the butterflies. And so it's a lot of fun to see that. So if you've never been a part of that or kind of curious on all that, this would be a great event to bring the whole family out. Obviously, the kids, showing them, how these the habitats work and how, the lifespan of from this little worm-looking thing to a beautiful butterfly.
Yeah, it's really cool to teach your kids about that. And
I've kind of just seen my wife's stuff, and because I wasn't in the lessons, but I'd go in on the weekends and watch the progress. Yeah. And I'd be like, oh, they're almost there's a couple butterflies.
Yeah, it's really exciting.
Where's the butterflies? They're gone. Although, unfortunately, this is where nature's nature. There's been years where she's had butterflies, and like she said, the kids out there. And they open the butterflies, and all the butterflies come out, and then some bird swoops in and eats one right as it goes away. That's nature. There's nothing to do about that.
The birds got to eat, too.
That's a lesson the kids had to learn that day. It's like, there's a food chain.
That's going to be this Saturday, isn't it?
Yeah.
That is this Saturday.
Yep,
okay.
at 10 a.m. And if you'd like to join, it's going to be at our auditorium in the visitor center. But we'd like for people to make reservations because it's limited. Our auditorium,
so many kits and things for everybody.
Yeah, and our auditorium holds 50 people, so it'll be limited to the first 50 people. So if you'd like to join, please give a call to the 575-244-6256.
Okay. And if you're driving, don't have that. If you go to friendsofbitterlake.org or just type Bitter Lake Wildlife, you'll find the websites and you'll find the numbers, and you can RSVP that way.
Yeah.
Too.
There was also a notification on Facebook, too.
Very good. Yeah. Like and follow Bitter Lake Wildlife Refuge on Facebook. That way you don't have to wait for these two to come on and tell you about it.
Yeah.
Every time, as soon as they post it up there, then it'll be there available. What time does that start this Saturday?
10 a.m.
10 a.m. And like you said, call that number, RSVP. Give that number out one more time if you don't mind, Carl.
It's 575-244-6256.
Very good. Just call that number and say, hey, I heard on the radio that they're having the the butterfly event this Saturday, I'd like to reserve me and my 4 family members to come out and be a part of it. So that'd be great. Come out and do that. So that's this Saturday. What do we got later on this month or in the couple coming weeks here?
Yeah, so on April 22nd, we're having an Earth Day event, and so that's at 9 a.m. on April 22nd. And same deal, if you want to join us for that, give us a call to reserve.
Yeah.
But we'll be working on our butterfly trail there. We'll just be having some volunteers come out and do some maintenance.
So if you'd love to be a part of and want to get involved that way, of course, while you're there, Don can tell you about Friends of Bitter Lake and becoming a member of that. That's kind of what friends do. Yeah. But yeah, if you want to come out and that's the thing I love it is the yes, you have Carl and the Fish and Wildlife and the professionals that are kind of keeping eyes on things, but at the end of the day, it's a community place. Those trails, when that bird blinds, and whenever there's those additions, it's volunteers, it's the friends that make it. It's through generous donations from folks like you that make these things happen. So, if you love and want to preserve and want to keep, so your grandkids go out to Bitter Lake and see the same cool things you get to see. Come out, volunteer. Come out and work. Work the trails, or come out and become a friend. Become a friend of Bitter Lake, and even if you're like, well, I'm not good at digging trails and all that, but hey, I can volunteer in the store for a Saturday for a few hours, or I can help at an event to work a booth or take tickets or do something like that. All of that's helpful. So.
Yeah, definitely.
I've been updating the water system on that trail.
Yeah,
for the last 2 weeks now.
Oh yeah,
I had 500 foot of pipe. Had to dig it up and replace the old pipe because it was too small and get a bigger pipe in there.
Who said conservationists had to be plumbers too? Huh?
Yeah, I know.
Always surprised by the work that you end up doing.
Electricians, plumbers, carpenters, a little bit over.
I got to pull that out next week and do the electrical stuff for a new well pump.
But so. What Don's saying, anybody with electrical or plumbing experience, friends could use some expertise here.
Tell you what, if you can hold a shovel and dig a hole, we need you.
Sure, sure. And okay, there are perks to being a friend because as a friend of Bitter Lake, you get to kind of get to see parts of the refuge and be a part of things that aren't generally open to the public or are limited to public viewing and things. And the friends, you kind of get to, because you do conservation projects in that area. But like we were talking about some of the buffalo hunting areas and all that, a lot of that's not really public access, publicly accessible. But with the friends, you might be able to, if there's a project or something neat out there, you might get to do a little trip out there and see some of the sides of Bitter Lake that the public generally doesn't participate in because, again, it's not for you, it's for nature.
That's right. That's right. That and history because of the archaeology that's done.
Absolutely, yeah. I'm sure you get conservators or what some of the archaeologists. They probably from time to time are out there doing some research and exploring, and maybe they find a bone or find not in this case a literal bone, but find a gem to maybe an arrowhead or some of the artifacts from some of the Native Americans that were using these hunting grounds back hundreds of years ago here. So it's cool, and so friends you gotta get to see a little bit. So if you like that side of things, there's your perk right there.
Right there.
As a friend, you get to kind of you get a little inside baseball on Bitter Lake a little bit. And of course if for Don like a guy like you gives you an excuse to get out and get outside and be in the grass, and if you're just looking for an excuse to be outdoors and out in the sun. Lots of opportunities for that too. That's
getting darker all the time.
We have to get Don some tank tops next time he's out there to work. This is leaving up that farming tan a little bit. But this Saturday, now again, for the event on the 22nd for Earth Day, do they need to RSVP for that as well, or can that be just
that would be nice.
Come and go. Okay.
Yeah.
Again, same way, call the number or go online and shoot a message, and someone will get back to you here.
Right.
By the way, I would imagine too, if there's service groups looking for projects, do you guys have any help for them? I know like scouts and things tend to do stuff out there. Is there if there's any other service organizations that are looking for some gigs, Is there opportunities at Bitter Lake for them?
Yeah, we'd love to have more volunteers join us for various projects.
Okay.
We have more like habitat restoration projects and things like that. So get a hold of us. And
It's great for our youth. I know, like the scouting, they do a lot of service. I know in high school and stuff, some of your high school curriculum requires service-oriented things. So if you need that kind of stuff for your organization, give Carl or Don or someone over at Bitter Lake a call here, and maybe they can find some projects for you.
Yeah, definitely.
To
Definitely some help.
get you a little dirty.
We would love to have that. Yeah, I'm working on a couple of possible projects for some scouting groups.
Okay.
Coming up. The scout camp out there needs some work.
Okay.
And there's some things that the scouts can help with.
Okay.
Out on what we call Hunter Marsh, when they do their hunting, sometimes they either don't see it or just kind of forget to pick up their brass after they have fought.
I got you.
So we'd like to get our group out there and have them pick up some of that brass.
I know enough about scouting to know one of their mottos, other than be prepared, is always leave a place better than you found it. So that's very much in the heart and grain of, I know, scouting and organizations like that. So
and that's what we need down at Hunter Marsh, is to just walk through and pick up some stuff and clean up.
Good deal. So there's an opportunity right there, and that's just off the top of the head. We got a few more for you. Come on down.
I can come up some more here.
But here's the part too. I think, and this is where the gold is when you're out on these projects and things, you're seeing nature in its habitat, so you get to see things. And depending on the time of day you're out there working, like if you're working, because sometimes it gets hot in the summer, so you're like, I want to be out at 5, 6 in the morning when it's cool working.
Yep.
Yeah.
Animals also have that same mindset. They're busier when it's cool or when it's, and not in the busy or hot parts of the day. So mornings, evenings, that's generally the busier times for animal life out at the refuge. So, during the middle of the day, everyone's hunkered down, siesting or hanging out or trying to keep cool or just stay out of the way. But at dawn or at dusk there, that's when everyone starts stirring and thinking about food and thinking about things like that. And if you happen to be around, you get to see a lot of cool, just see what that bird did, see that fish.
Yeah.
That's you get to see all that is just being volunteering.
Yeah, definitely.
We do want to remind people, summer's coming on.
Okay.
And it's great to walk around out there, but do so consciously.
Yeah.
Because there are snakes coming out. We have already seen a couple of rattlesnakes up near the nature store. We watch for them, and then we move them to a less habitable place.
Gotcha.
Where they can do their hunting without interfering.
Without getting near public.
Yeah, right.
Sure. But that being said, again, my scouting brain comes to me. If you're going out to Bitter Lake to hike around and things, prepare yourself a little bit. Make sure you have some water. Make sure you have good walking shoes and proper socks and things so you don't get blisters and all that. Sunscreen, insect repellent, those are good things to have because it does get sunny out there. You get burned. Maybe a good hat, wear loose clothing. Don't dress in layers. These maybe, when you're carrying your water, if you got one of those little mini first aid kits to bring along with you in case you do have a bump and grind, you can do some first aid until, and if it's serious, someone else can, at least you can do some first aid till someone gets to you.
Stop the bleeding.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
It's just little things like that. If you're mindful of that, now you don't have to bring the whole kitchen sink with you and bring. I know some people, they bring the kids, and next thing you got a stroller and 50 bottles and games, and you don't need all that. But some insect repellent, some sunscreen, water, maybe a little thing with to deal with some minor injuries, and that is just. Depending how far you plan on venturing out and things. But if you're going to really hit the trails and stuff, and you might get to a part where you might be by yourself for a couple hours if you get hurt, you might want to have a few things to keep you safely there. And I'm just curious, How's cell phone signal out there? Is it pretty dead around there? Or
It's pretty good.
So have you ever gotten an emergency situation stuck out there?
Yeah, anywhere the public's allowed, the cell phone signal's pretty good.
Good, okay. I just didn't know.
I've never had any problems with my cell phone out there.
Okay, good. I was kind of wondering, it is out there in nature, and they don't want to see things like cell towers hanging out.
Yeah, definitely. But we're close enough to town that it's not too much of an issue.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just wanted to add to like the fact that snakes are coming out and things like that. Just be careful when you're driving as well. There's a lot of reptiles and other species are starting to wake up, and we have a lot of box turtles, and
they like to sun on things.
Yeah, they like to hang out on the road sometimes, and I know snakes can be scary to some people, but they're a really important part of the ecosystem, and just this is their home, and just be careful when you're driving.
And to be honest, they will leave you alone if you don't mess with them.
Absolutely.
That's right. They're not looking for a fight. The moment that when they raise up, and that's all warning signs telling you just go away.
Yeah.
If you do that, you're fine. It's when you stand there and stare at him and wonder, whoa, look at he's mad. And I was like, what are we going to do next? That's on you. If he's doing that.
Most of the people that get bit are messing with them, but you have to watch your step too. And but
the last thing you want to do is do that. They're just trying to protect themselves. So if you see that or come across or accidentally walk across and you see a mad snake, then they just back away and you'll be fine. He's not going to chase you unless you start messing with it.
You're too big for a snake to eat.
Yeah.
And if he has to use his venom to protect himself, then that venom may not be there when he goes to get his prey, his food.
He's saving that for his lunch. He's not saving it to protect himself.
Their venom's designed for eating. Like it actually helps them digest their food. It's not for defense, although
it's used that way.
But it's designed for.
There's a reason why snakes hide in things, and they don't make themselves public per se. They're not that type of animal. They're not the type of animal that's looking for a fight. They're looking for lunch. They're looking to be cool. They're looking to meet their needs. And if you get attacked by one, it's because you're interrupting one of those things.
Right.
And that's all it's about, And once you understand that, then you and nature can coexist out there a little bit, It's like, hey, and again, going back to the conversation we had before, you're the guest. This is their home. This is their territory. This is their place.
Yep.
You're the intruder. You're the visitor. You're the one that's foreign to that scenario. They're going to look at you that way, and that's what it is. And so if you put it from that mindset as, hey, I'm the bad guy in that world.
That's right.
Then and you walk accordingly, and then you understand, and you can navigate pretty well.
Yeah.
And then be mindful of that ecosystem out there. That's the thing, is we want to bring the kids and learn this stuff and learn, this is what these animals do. This is why they do it. This is why we don't do this. This is why we do this, and things like that. So that's what this is about. So
definitely.
So adults, learn those lessons that we're teaching the kids when we come out there too. It's very much. I'm not asking you to be the next wilderness survival person or anything like that. But when you're out in the nature, you're the visitor. Respect it and respect. You're the outsider looking in. You got to learn their ways. They don't have to adapt to you.
No. Definitely. And part of that, just take your time when you're driving. Keep your eyes out. Like see if you see any nature when you're doing it. Don't just drive real quickly through the refuge. Just follow the speed limit and keep your eyes out.
It's there for everyone to enjoy. So come and you can have a great weekend and spend no money just going out in nature trails and things, but bring a few bucks and help out, because every time you go out there and buy a book or buy a T-shirt or buy anything from that gift shop, all that goes back into these conservation projects and things like that. So please support that way too if you can. That's a great
we don't pay a tax on that because we're a 501c3.
Right.
And the money goes back to the refuge, one form or another. In some way, we don't pay people to maintain that nature.
They're volunteers.
They're volunteers. No.
And sometimes you get nice folks that literally they'll bring their RV out there and camp for the weekend just to man the booth, so to speak.
Yeah, well, they usually come out about 3 months at a time.
Yeah, and they just give of their time. They could be they're probably retired and could be gallivanting and seeing the world, but no, they're here visiting and because they have a passion for that place. And
they do that. That is their getting around their vacation time, you might say, is to go out and
a pretty good one.
They go from all over the country.
I would imagine when they're not when the store's closed, they're probably like, "Hey, let's go take a nature walk. We're
We're
right here." And
they walk around. They enjoy the nature,
watch the birds, and watch
see the
snakes.
rest of the community.
Yeah.
They come out and
get their alien on.
Yeah, there you go. They're using this as an opportunity to see the rest of the area as well.
I love that. What a great idea.
Well,
That's a great way, because now they're giving back and helping
They
and
are.
supporting, but at the same time, they're living life and enjoying it and doing what they want to do.
That's right.
At the same time, providing a valuable service for folks here. That's what a great way to give back. That's awesome. I love that. That's what I hope. You know what? I hope more folks that are in that scenario do the same thing. Maybe some locals here. Go find your place somewhere else like that and do it for them, and come back and do it here when you're done.
We could even set up something for somebody locally if they've retired. They're getting ready. They're going to sell their house and travel.
Okay.
Well, okay. Come out here, see what it's like. You live in your RV. You work on the refuge for usually 3 months stints. Some stay for 6 months, but usually about a 3-month stint.
Okay.
And then while you're there, you'll have access to where else can you go. And you can travel all over the country.
Mm-hmm. Using that as your hub.
Yep. Well, and you can go to these other places and stay there for 3 months, and another place for 3 months. And you don't pay your utilities. That's provided.
That's the perk of being a volunteer here. It's like, hey, we'll make sure you can watch TV at night and flush your toilets.
Right. There you go. And you get fresh water. Yeah. That's it. So
That's pretty good.
It's a great life.
That's a great trade-off
for
to me.
people that want, and our volunteers usually work 3 days a week. Can you imagine that? 3 days a week and all the expenses paid.
That's great.
Well, you have to buy your food, but I mean,
sure.
Yeah.
You can't forage there either. That's food for the
No.
animals.
That wouldn't
Sorry,
work.
I'd be like, ooh, this
That
plant's
wouldn't work
edible.
too
Yeah,
well.
leave it for the snake. Leave for the bird. No, you can forage to McDonald's or wherever you go. Or the grocery store, and you can fire up your kitchen. We'll pay electricity for to fire up your stove here.
There you go. Yeah. So that's a great way to go.
But again, reach out, and if you're interested, and talk with Carl here or Don or any of the folks, and
if you call the nature store and talk to Steve Alvarez.
Okay, Steve. Yeah, we had Steve on a bunch of times.
Yep.
Steve,
he's the one that does all that coordination with the community.
Yeah.
Including the RVers. So.
And he's probably the guy that usually lets you out if you get locked in at night too, right?
Actually, you can get out.
You can.
It's getting in after dark.
Gotcha. He won't let you in after dark.
No.
There's a whole reason for the gate.
Yeah. Unless you have the right tools.
Sure.
Yeah.
The key.
Yeah, the key.
Very good. Is there anything we missed, Carl or Don? Is there anything we wanted to mention or anything we got
else?
sidetracked on that we want to make sure we let the public know about?
I can't think of anything else.
Very good. What's give out the hours for the refuge and all the it's open 7 days a week.
The refuge itself is sunrise to sunset.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So it's kind of seasonal, so about the time. So usually, now that we're in daylight savings time, so what, about 6 a.m. or so?
Yeah,
probably.
I think that's about right.
Till about 7 at night or so. Yeah.
And later on, it'll get up to about 8 or so.
Gotcha.
8 o'clock.
Yeah, as we get farther into
Now,
winter here.
The nature store is Monday through Saturday.
Okay.
They only close on Sundays, but Monday through Saturday, and they're open from 9 to 5.
Okay, so pretty much Monday, all day, 8-hour day, every day but Sunday.
Yep.
So come on by and do some shopping. Of course, if you want to ask questions about being a volunteer, they'll put you in the right direction on that too.
Yep.
While they're picking up stuff.
They will.
Very good. Well, thank you guys.
All right, thank you, Mike.
We'll see you next time. We'll see you next month, and don't forget, come out this Saturday. Come out this Saturday, and then again on the 22nd for Earth Day. Again, give out that phone number one more time, Carl.
It's 575-244-6256.
Very good. So come out and hang out with some butterflies this weekend, and then come out for Earth Day here on the 22nd.
Right.
Very good. Thank you, guys. Appreciate
Thank
it.
you,
We'll see you all next time.
All right.
Thank you.
I'll see Don like 4 more times in the next couple of days. So.
We got a lot going on here.
We do. We got another hat, but equally busy. So. All right, it is 8:53. Let's pause for local news. Quick commercial break. Your Wall Street update as well. Don't go away.
Now for your Pecos Valley News Update. I'm Jared Sorello. A developing story out of Carlsbad today where a man is now jailed for shooting and killing a teenager. 21-year-old Eric Garcia was arrested in the 800 block of Waco Street. Police have not described how the man might know the boy or if he's related. Garcia is being held at the Eddy County Jail with no bond. Anyone with information about the ordeal is being urged to call 885-2111. Construction continues on a project to rebuild about 10 miles of US 285 at Malaga. Crews currently in the second phase of a project to rebuild the entire roadway, extend and replace concrete box culverts to improve drainage, and rehab the existing bridge over the salt draw. The phase is expected to last the next couple of weeks and will cause traffic to be shifted to the northbound lanes at the southern end of the project and the southbound lanes at the northern end. Only one lane of traffic open in each direction for the next several weeks. You're up to date. I'm Jared Cirillo reporting.
With the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Rich Thomason. Although inflation did rise again last month, the pace of the increase a bit slower than the month before. The Commerce Department says consumer prices rose 0.3% from January to February. That was down from a 0.6 increase December to January. Richard Branson's Virgin Orbit is letting go of almost its entire workforce. The California-based company says it will cut 675 jobs, and that is about 85% of the Virgin Orbit workforce. It was a higher open this morning for Wall Street. The stock market is pleased with the latest inflation report, suggesting that inflation may be slowing down a bit. The report could give the Federal Reserve reason to pause its series of interest rate hikes. The increase is aimed at easing inflation. For the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Rich Thomason.
Believe it or not, your home insurance company isn't evil. Jennifer from Trustmark Roofing here. A lot of roofers make your insurance company out to be your enemy. They'll talk about fighting and battling your insurance to get you the claim you deserve. But honestly, your insurance company is a group of people just like you and me. That's why we don't treat your roof insurance claim like we're going to war. We treat it like a court case. We provide your insurance company every piece of evidence needed to get you the highest possible claim. We submit photos, videos, detailed documents, and line-by-line estimates. And guess what? Our non-combat approach works. On 92% of roof insurance claims, we get the highest amount the first time. And the rare times we don't, well then, that's when we go to bat for you. Call today for your 20% off coupon for our spring roof and gutter maintenance service. 575-755-ROOF or visit TrustmarkRoofPros.com.
Trustmark Roofing, we put people first.
Talk radio has landed on the all-new 106.5 FM, KEND Roswell.
And that's going to do it for us. Thanks for allowing us to be a part of your day. We really do appreciate it. Have an amazing weekend. We'll be back bright and early, 7 a.m. Monday morning. Till then, take care, and we'll talk to you then.
Breaking